Good evening, brothers, sisters, and gender norm resistors. It's that time of the week again. Time to get into it with the pirates of the Geek Vortex and me, your host, Ollamh. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, we are back. We are live. We are going good. So yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right down into it, shall we? We'll get into the voice chat and see what's going on with everybody. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, everybody's here today, like right off the bat. Wow.
Madness, I know.
Right? So how has everybody's week been?
It's been okay. How about yours?
It's been...
Oh. Fair enough.
I've been alive.
Yeah, the weather has just been atrocious. It's been up into the 80s and 90s most of the week, so that's been just messing with my head something fierce.
Well, look at that. There's a 5-man crew tonight.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello.
I love Demise's comment.
It's something we need to respect. Just like fire, it could cook our food or it could cook us. Yeah, well, that's yeah. I mean, if we're stupid about it, which I mean, let's face it, we are talking about the human race, so yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our topic for tonight is AI and algorithms, and I mean the real question I have, it's as far as it all goes, is kind of, is it really something to worry about replacing? Because every time somebody goes on and on about it's going to replace all these people, it's like it kind of shows that it's really not.
I suppose it depends on the specifics of what are we worried about it replacing?
Well, like, there was a story a few weeks ago about, colleges running student papers through an algorithm and saying, "Oh, yep, this was generated by AI. This was generated by AI." And then as a control, they put, I think they put the novel War and Peace through it. And it's like, nope, that was generated by an AI. It's like, wait, what?
That would be one very impressive AI.
Yeah.
Come up with a novel that good and that long ago before computers. I mean,
Yeah, it's
That's
just proof that
taking
the
our
author was a
alternative history
Terminator.
a bit too literally.
I mean, personally, myself, I've seen AI art, and it doesn't look real to me. It doesn't look like... You can tell when something is AI art, in my opinion. I've seen tons of AI art, especially being in the fandom that I'm involved in. But and all of the... yeah, exactly. All of the AI art...
I'll get to it when you're done.
All of the AI art I have seen looks incredibly stupid. I actually grabbed this program to try out. I gave it a task, like draw Spider-Man playing on a PS5, and then the drawing looked good, except you look at the details more closely and it's like he's got 2 legs, and I'm like, or no, he's got 3 legs. I mean, and I'm like, last I checked, Peter Parker had 2 legs, not 3. But yeah.
mutations can happen.
There was a what if where he did actually become a human spider.
Yeah, I do remember that, but I didn't.
But yeah, mentioning the current fandom, I joined a server for a Second Life sim that I was in. It's a fur server, and one of them has been posting for like the past 3 weeks. So like, hey guys, I found this amazing AI program that will build perfect pictures of my Sona, and it's great. And I'm sitting there looking at everything they generate, and it looks too clean. Like, that's how I can tell it's AI. There's no feeling to it. Like, you can tell the lines are too clean. There's no handshake.
Oh, okay, that's what you meant.
Yeah. Like, there's no...
It's not perverted
no
enough.
Of an artist in it. Like, why is this so, like, shiny? And why is there, like, no deviance? Why is everything perfectly proportioned?
Yeah, no, and that's it. It's
like,
it's,
okay, gamers, you can probably collaborate or corroborate with me. Getting into a bit lewd territory, furries have tendencies to make certain parts, shall we say, disproportionate. I can tell it's AI because everything's in proportion.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's kind of interesting, because all the ones that I've seen that people are like, oh, is this or isn't this? It's like, yeah, it's like it's never. I've never seen anything and been like, no, this is just too good. It's like I think it was last week there was so many people had news stories of this picture floating around from the Pentagon that, supposedly there was an explosion at the Pentagon. And it's like, okay, you look at the fence, it's like you follow the fence along, it's like all of a sudden it just like blurs into the background. It's like that's
Yeah. It's very obvious. And I think like the an older generation, older than us, would probably be more convinced that it was real, because they don't understand AI art as much as we do. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but I mean, like my parents, as an example, would probably believe that the Pentagon blew up. But the other thing was, actually today, somebody posted on Facebook the New York City Gay Pride Parade, and a whole bunch of Nintendo, or actually video game characters in the parade. And it looked so much like AI art, and everybody's like, no, these are costumed people that were at the Gay Pride Parade dressed up as Donkey Kong and Mario and Banjo-Kazooie, and I'm like, no, they're not. These really do look like AI art. It's like CGI. It looks so bad. You can tell that they're not costumes.
I'm kind of wondering about that picture now. I kind of want to look it up and just kind of like go through it, because it's like one of the things that I've
the gay pride ones. I can send them to the Discord.
Okay.
Give me a sec. There's a few of them.
Because like one of them that I remember from a few months ago. I'll go ahead and pop it up on the screen here. Was the pictures of Donald Trump being arrested, and people are like, oh my god, that looks so real. Like one of them that got me was this one. And it's like people.
Oh, it looks photoshopped. Never mind AI.
Huh.
I mean, it's like the first thing that immediately popped out in my mind that said, "Oh no, it's AI, it's absolutely AI generated," is the fact that Trump is wearing a fucking police belt.
Yeah. What is that on the back of his belt too? It looks
Looks
like
like
a
a
nightstick.
transponder. Or...
No, that's
That's
a
a radio
police
and
baton.
baton.
That's a police baton. He's
Well,
wearing a
you
police
know,
equipment belt. And it's like,
you know, he could be very kinky in the bedroom. We don't know.
No, we do know because all of his wives have released issues about that.
that, and then the same thing with your Peter Parker picture. It's like he's got 3 fucking legs. It's like, how are people fooled by this? It's like,
yeah. All right, I'm gonna send these photos in a sec here. I just have to compile them into.
So I know I am ridiculously biased on this. I think my biggest problem with how people debate AI is the people who don't use common sense. And I know that is not AI's fault by any means, but it concerns me what people who have access to AI do when they don't have common sense. That's where I get like, For example, all these things, should students be allowed to use it? Should they not be allowed to use it? I'm like, okay, instead of like saying can they use it or not, how about we say like how they're able to use it? Because they're going to use it regardless, right? And if the AI is not to the level where it can tell if War and Peace is original or not, it's not actually good to cite for cheating or not, obviously. So if you know they're going to use it, and you know you haven't gotten to the point that it's actually a good determiner on if they were cheating or just actually citing a real source or using completely their own words, why don't we, apply some common sense and go, okay, what can we do with AI? What should be allowed? And what should we like never, ever, ever do with AI? But nobody seems to want to have that conversation.
yeah, that's well, like I said, I think for me, it's like, I don't think it's, realistically, I mean, here's another one that I saw that just fucking just blew my mind. But it's like, people, every time I see people talking about, oh well, we can do all of this stuff. It's like, not really. It's like, the what should we be doing with it? That's a tough question, really. That's a tough question, because it's like, I don't know. I really don't see much of anything that it's really good for. I mean, the only people that I could really see as far as writing stories or something like that is maybe some of the more independent, low budget movie studios that basically just like, they're already just taking stuff, hacking it to taking a movie or taking a story, hacking it to pieces, throwing random shit in and just dumping it out to the audience anyway.
I mean, if you told me nowadays, I'd never seen it, that the original Spawn movie from the 90s was done partially with AI, given some of its CGI at the time, I would believe it.
You could tell me that movie was made with everybody doing cocaine, and I would have believed it.
That still sounds believable. But one thing that's grabbed me about AI for the last few years, all right, 2017, Saudi Arabia gives citizenship to a robot, i.e. an AI with the chassis. Almost 6 years ago. And I'm like, we don't really talk about this currently.
Oh my god, that first one. I've got to add that to the list.
I just don't understand how people are falling for these. That's my problem. They don't even look like costumes, and people
Well,
are
they
like
look
on Facebook.
costumes.
Not to me, they don't. They do not.
Not really, because if you look at the hand, look at Luigi's hand.
No, that's what gives it away. But I'm saying, like, you give any like major cosplayer a huge ass budget and a 3D printer, they could create something close to this. What gets me is when you look at Crash, it's the texture of the fur.
I don't know. Again, it's almost like the more educated people are, the less common sense they have. Because, like, I can look at some of it and it's obvious AI generation or a
That's
combination.
supposed to
And
be
then I agree,
Star
some
Fox?
of it's really good cosplay, but people don't, like, think it through. They just look at it and go, oh, yep, that's what it is. And they don't actually, like, look at it.
Yeah, I would assume that is Star Fox, but that again is AI
But
art
that's
as well.
Star
because-
Fox with a cat's muzzle.
Yeah, and it's definitely AI art as well. Again, because you can tell by the way the fur is, by the way the whiskers are. It doesn't look like
Wait,
even look like it's a fursuit.
You've
for
got a
Christ's
cat's
sake.
muzzle and a dog's paws. What the fuck? The fur in me is just screaming right now.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Hey, that one's not an AI or a costume. That's just Sonic from the first movie.
Well, what do you?
Wow.
Oh jeez. Yeah, let me get some of these, because I mean I can kind of see what the AI what the programs are doing.
Now this comes from a YouTuber called Retro Gaming Replay. So these were stuff that he uploaded onto his Facebook.
So I'm trying to figure out, since it came right after Geralt, I'm trying to figure out the one after that, if that's also from another game, or
yes, that is
Sephiroth.
that is Sephiroth. Yes,
That is not Sephiroth.
yes, it is.
No, it's not. Because that motherfucker is right-handed, Sephiroth is left-handed.
Oh my God!
Oh
It's
my
it's
God.
AI art.
Yeah, you're getting too far into the
Yeah, it's AI art. It's supposed to be Sephiroth.
I was going to say, I wouldn't be too concerned about whether he's right or left-handed. Just be amazed if it has the right number of fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
No, actually, the only thing I was asking is because I'm trying to figure out what the fuck he's supposed to have in his hand. Because I can't figure out if that's supposed to be the black materia, or if they just screwed up when asking for a sword.
Babe, not
It
everybody
honestly
is a
looks like a
Sephiroth
firearm to
fanboy.
me. It honestly looks like a gun of some kind to me.
hang on.
Yeah, I know. That's also what was getting me. I was like, maybe I'm wrong?
Yeah.
Get that one pulled up on screen here.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a pistol with a very odd grip.
So yeah, I kind of understand how and what the AI how the AI is doing things. They're doing it like a rushed artist. They're saying, hey, let's put the detail in, let's put as much detail in where it's going to draw the eye, and we're just gonna kind of speed through and just bullshit the rest of it. That's why, like,
Yeah.
most of these, the crowds and in the background, the crowd's faces are just blurred. I mean, this one kid looks like they're part Sasquatch, like right at the edge of the photo there.
On the left side, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Okay. Looks like the Sasquatch mask from Bob's Burgers. It's just like, yeah, it's like everything's just, it's just kind of like, okay, so no, here's where all the focus is going to be. It's on this character. So we're going to, people are drawn to faces, so we're going to really pay attention to the face of the main person. Everybody in the background, well, that's just going to be, yeah, that's, we'll just bullshit this and stuff like that. But it's like, but those are all the details that are going to tell people, hey, yeah, it's AI generated.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. Especially the I don't know if you're looking. Look at the one. Okay, you saw the Sasquatch looking guy on the left side. Look at the two people behind him. One has a very long neck and some kind of a monkey face, and the other one has no neck, and their face is just grafted.
No neck, their face is grafted, and look at the feet,
Yeah,
the sandaled feet. They're like,
and then people are like, "No, that's not AI."
yeah. Now I will agree with I will agree with Denise here that yeah, it should be used for used first. It's for the boring but critical things that need constant monitoring. That's kind of the key point. Is it's like, yeah, it's stuff that's like, yeah, for people who are bored and just want something fun to work on critical thinking and stuff like that, I would be all for that. And that's why I think the one group of people that really need to worry about AI art and stuff like that are the people that make Highlight Magazine.
Okay.
Because that's what this is. It's basically it's basically just a what's wrong with this picture. Find all the things that are wrong with this picture type of thing.
Yeah, that's true. And that's where I could see AI benefiting is from like those books that kids can get, like find the cat in the image or something like that. You could have the AI make those images for the books. But aside from that, I find it funny when people tell me, "Oh no, AI is going to destroy artists. Artists aren't going to be able to." No, I don't believe that for a second, because AI art hasn't advanced that much. It's not advanced to a level where we can take a picture, or take like Leonardo da Vinci's work and put it beside AI art and not be able to distinguish which is which. It hasn't reached that level yet. We'll still know which one is drawn by a human and which one is drawn by an algorithm.
Well, I think I don't know. I think the Mona Lisa is one that's, I mean, realistically, AI should be able to fucking.
I was just using that as an example, but I mean, like in my opinion, I've seen. Well, I mean, like being in the fandom that I'm a part of, I've seen actual human art and I've seen AI art, and I can always tell the difference. Yeah. And basically, because of, like you said, there's monkeys in the background instead of humans. Like that. Just a bunch of blurred images and multiple feet, multiple heads. Spider-Man looked like something from a horror movie.
It's way too clean. Like, the art is too good for it to be a human.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would. No, I don't know if I would say. I don't know if I would agree with that.
Well, the only examples I can give right now are not ones I'm going to put up on stream. How about that? Like, I would show you what I'm talking about.
Well,
well, wait a minute. Hold on.
Here's my reasoning for saying this is, if you're talking about somebody who is, if you're talking about generally stuff that isn't, nobody that is, what's the best way to put it? Where the quality is already kind of, it's not, it's not a masterful artist. It's not somebody who's went to art school or something like that. Then I guess I could see that, because it's like there's already things that are going to be a little bit off about it. Like, the lack of perspective isn't going to be an issue, because the lack of perspective is kind of built in, it's kind of just generally there for most of the stuff created for that particular genre.
Yeah.
There we go. So I actually remembered that I had played around and downloaded a couple AI pictures just to see what I could do with them. But these are the two that I can point out what I'm talking about. Because I threw them in the Pirate Screw channel, and like either one of these you would have seen on like a Lisa Frank notebook way back in the 90s. So, artists can come up with stuff like this, and we've seen it 1,000 times. But when you start looking closer, you'll see what I mean. Like the first one.
It's exactly like what you said. To me, it looks too clean.
Yeah, it's too
There's
clean.
no mistakes. There's no mistakes. There's no overlapping
you
of
look
lines.
at those paws. Those paws are perfectly symmetrical.
Exactly.
The eyes are in line with one another. Every brush stroke has the same weight. It's too clean.
No, exactly. No, I can definitely tell it's AI.
Hang on a moment, Jeff. Hang on a moment. Let's get it. Give me some time to get it up on the screen here, so that people can see what it is that we're talking about here. See, that's one of those points where it's. I mean, you say it's too clean, it's too perfect, but it's in the it's in what I think would be just what would be classified as the uncanny valley. There's no obvious, human mistakes or human errors in proportion or anything like that. But at the same time, there's something just professional artists wouldn't do that. Like the paws are perfectly symmetrical, but they're blurred together. They're merged together. There's no definition.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. Is like you realize these little things that artists do. Like even if they had drawn that, say, as part of the initial sketch, you would probably be able to see where they went over it to clean it up later.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it would work as far as maybe a first draft, a first sampling of what they're going for, but nobody's going to reach that as their final piece.
Yeah, and then that's why I put the second one. The second one is a little more iffy because now we're getting into detail and find things like filigree. But again, there's just something there. It's too smooth. Like you can tell this was not made by a human hand. Even digital art doesn't have this smooth and glossy of a texture, I want to say.
And again, it's also you need to look at, that's the point where you need to look at the details. Look at where, all art will draw your eye somewhere, and your eye is very much drawn to the fox head. But if you look just below the fox head, where it's just like, there's literally just a blur.
Yeah.
Right underneath the chin, there's just this big blur. That's...
Well, like even
nobody who puts that much detail into it is going to leave just a blank blur there, just being like, hey, yep, just.
Well, I mean, look at just under the eyes, like on the cheekbones, where you see the highlights in the fur. They're too glossy.
Yeah. They're too glossy, and if anybody's going to have like a glossiness to it, they're going to put lines in it to show that it is still fur. Basically, he's got a couple bald patches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I wonder how many people are gonna like take advantage of that in the future and be and say like, I made this myself, and they're just gonna use AI art to claim that it's theirs and be like, oh no, this is I drew this. This is my art.
That was the big thing in the fandom when it first started. People were doing that. Yeah, and exactly. The original AI algorithms, they wouldn't create based off of references. They would wholesale take an existing piece and mash them together. So you would have several artists with pieces of their work that have been smashed together into an image, and then somebody posts it up and says, well, this is mine, I drew this, and I'm copywriting it. And The biggest problem is that because it would go for the bigger artists, they were recognizable styles. So people would be pointing out, these aren't your works. Like, I know that artist, I know who did that head, I know who did this background. We can point out the images. So not only are you trying to claim this as your own, you're stealing from more than one person and claiming this is okay because an AI did it.
Oh hell, people have already profited off that. Remember Trump's first round of NFT collectible cards?
Oh God.
People did a little bit of research and found exactly where the AI just ripped stuff from. Like his cowboy one was from an Amazon coat that was up for sale. All it did was change the size a bit, change the color, change a few things here and there. It was like, boom, there you go. Yeah, Demi's,
Yeah.
I agree. At least the fox head is not symmetrical, like like it's holding a mirror vertically. Yeah, that's
Well, I mean, then we get the problem with the fox head is the crown that it merges into it. There wasn't actually a shadow there.
Yeah, and yeah, like I said, it's one of those things. Well, the crown doesn't, and all the patches of fur in the crown. There's no lines to show that it is fur. It's kind of, again, it's one of those things, and I think this is the biggest thing that AI is just going to struggle with forever is the idea of, okay, where's the eye going to be drawn to? Cool, that's where we're gonna put the focus, and in order to save computing time and make sure to crank out as many results as possible, it's gonna be like, let's just fudge everything else.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Greed will not stop, and that will be the driving force.
I mean, going back to an earlier comment with the sci-fi warned us, when has that ever stopped us? Sci-fi has warned us about so much shit, and we did it anyways.
Humans are dumb, collectively.
Yeah.
Well, it's not so much humans are dumb, it's just that anybody that tries to say, hey, this is a really stupid idea, are just labeled conspiracy theorists.
Oh, no.
No, babe, we're dumb as a society. We're kind of dumb.
So as an example, the great well of inspiration that is the Star Trek, the Star Trek shows.
Mm-hmm.
How many times are we gonna try the fucking like altered reality glasses, and before we realize that it's just a bad fucking idea?
We haven't learned since the Virtual Boy.
I mean, they did it with Google Glasses, and now somebody else is trying to come out with the exact same thing, and it's like, we don't learn. We do not learn. So,
Hold on. Are you talking about are you talking about VR headsets, or do you mean actual?
I'm talking about actual glasses. They used them in DS9. Basically, little frames with a little piece of glass across one eye that puts up, information and stuff like that, so that you can see where you're going, but you can also be reading this stuff, reading something or looking at pictures or something like that.
Okay.
Do you mean the episode where they're all getting
Sounds like
addicted?
a bad idea.
No, it's not the virtual game. This was actually something that Cisco used on DS9. It was the original idea for Google Glass. Google Glass fell on its face because it gave people massive fucking migraines because you're trying to your eye is trying to focus on something far in front of you and right up in your face. Problem is again, humans are stupid. We don't fucking learn our lesson and say, nope, write it off. That's a bad idea. We're never doing that. And somebody's like, no, I can fix it. I can fix it. It's kind of like going back with it's kind of like going back with a really bad ex. It's like, no, I can fix them.
Blech.
It's like, no, you can't. Just learn your lesson. Walk the fuck away.
Yeah. Well, the horrible part is, like, every sci-fi writer wants to put some kind of variation into it. Shelby and I are reading a book where their variation is not just glasses, it's built right into your goddamn eye.
Yeah.
And they're talking about, like, oh, well, the character pulls out an implant, which, like, apparently takes the form of kind of like a mole. And, like, it just goes in and out. And then the interface is just blazing directly across your vision. And everyone can see it when you're using it. But, like, it is connected to the internet. It shows you video feeds, does whatever. It was like, imagine how distracted we are with cell phones and everything now. Now imagine having it directly in your fucking skull.
Imagine a hacker saying, you can have this eye back if you pay the ransomware fee.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, hey, you want to see? Well, I'm putting black screens across your vision.
Oh no. It's so much worse than that. Real life is going so much worse than that. Look at Elon Musk.
Can we not?
Yeah, I was about to say. I'd rather not.
If
His
I were
neural,
on the
his
same-
neural implants. His neural implants that he is trying, his company is claiming the FDA has already given them permission to do human testing.
He claims that.
Yeah, the FDA hasn't said one way or the other. They're like, nope, we're not saying we gave him any kind of.
We would
okay.
not like to be involved in this, thank you.
Yeah.
Ever.
But yeah, it's like, oh, we could give people who have severe nerve damage and can't walk, we could give them the power to walk again. It's like, yeah, and what happens when they don't pay you $10 a month? Oh, you forgot. Oh, sorry, you missed your monthly payment. No legs for you.
The second they did that with cars, you can basically deactivate. Someone misses a payment. That's already a thing. We knew it was a matter of time.
They want to do that with smart houses too, and I was like, nope, no.
Oh no. Around here, we found out in a small little subdivision just south of town here. We found out exactly why smart houses are a bad idea. They built all these smart houses. All the locks and stuff were controlled by your phone. Sounded great. Tons of people moved in, stuff like that. All of a sudden, somebody went out there with a trailer and a ham radio. Cranked up the power, got just the right frequency. Nobody could get into their houses. It just completely jammed it. And everybody's like, well, maybe did they hack into the system? What is going on? Everybody's looking for these high-tech stuff. It's like, it was a simple ham radio in a trailer.
Speaking of Elon Musk, Kaden, I'm going to send these to you because I don't think they're suitable for the podcast, but I think you'll find them funny nonetheless. So I'm sending them to you on Discord.
But yeah, I gotta.
We have this. We don't have any rules and no holds barred, and yet we're still like, let's not show these.
Well, I mean, there is a certain amount of, the idea of nudity and stuff like that YouTube.
No, there's no nudity in these. No.
But
It's just
things
weird.
along those lines, yeah, YouTube would.
The last comment from background. I'm sorry.
I feel so ashamed.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Demise's last comment here. As far as individuals might be smart, but groups are pulled down by society's lower average intellect.
Except they're the ones that are identified as the intellectuals, like Elon.
Did you look at those yet? Those are all real. That's the scary thing.
Yeah.
None of those are fake. Like, what the hell is wrong with this man?
Look, there's days I am ashamed that I am a fur, and having Elon counted as one of us, that's one of them.
Oh my god, it's terrifying.
Yeah, well, I think Elon is learning exactly how difficult it is to run Twitter.
Well, I mean, not that he has to worry about it anymore. He stepped down as CEO like 3 times.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
still owns it. So, and he's still on the hook for $44 billion.
Everyone who says, "Oh, it's a 5D chess game," I'm like, not by losing that much up front, it isn't.
Yeah, it's like no, it's 5D chess. It's like yeah, it's like no, he's lost so much more. What's 7D chess? It's like you can't just up the number of dimensions and claim it as a win.
The fanatics will always do that. The one thing I'm trying to still figure out is how he just... I mean, I imagine the answer to this is bribery, but how do you suddenly get Bill Maher to have him on the show and just praise him? That was disturbing.
Because it's not... I don't know. I didn't find it that disturbing or that unusual or that questionable. I mean, if you look at the way Bill Maher has been for the past 5 or 10 years,
I get that.
he is
sometimes
off in this fucking bizarro land where everything is, he's been kind of losing touch with reality for a while now. And who better to have on your show than somebody who is like king of not in touch with reality?
Yeah, there's moments where I was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, when he went off on Stan Lee fans after Stan Lee died.
Oh god, I hated that rant. Pissed me off to no end.
Yeah, it was like, why are you picking this fight?
Yeah, no, he literally basically said that anybody who likes comics or Stan Lee and is over the age of 16 is a retard. It's literally what he said. He said anybody who likes stuff that's over the age of a certain age, they have mental problems because all comic books are meant for children. They're not meant. And same with the movies, the Spider-Man movie and all that stuff. Avengers, it's all meant for kids. And anybody who watches it who is over the age of 16 is mentally challenged and unstable.
Sounds like Tim Burton.
Everyone is dum 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 dum.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 reasons for this. 2 reasons for this. Both of them have to do with audience. First and foremost, he was his political views were losing the leftist viewership and stuff like that. So the only place to go is further right and try and capture that audience. And number 2 is controversy sells.
Oh, yeah, of course. It sells in everything.
I mean, how many YouTubers have had massive, what should have been career-ending controversies, and then just to come back, just to take a little bit of time off, come back with a huge weeping apology, and just more people found them because they're like, well, what did this person do? It's like, oh hey, yeah, I find this entertaining. Why not? Easiest way to get an audience is to do something massively controversial to get your name in the news.
Unless, of course, you're one certain YouTuber who we shall not name.
Okay.
Oh no, there's always at least one
I can't.
where they try the apologies and everything, and then it just doesn't work because of the specifics of why they have to apologize.
Oh, okay, I think I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of somebody, but it's like, yeah,
Oh, let's just break it. It's Onision.
Oh, okay, not who I was thinking of then. All right.
I think I missed out on that one. So
So Onision, massive channel way back in the classic days of YouTube. But then as he kept breaking down and having rage fests and such, as his partners kept leaving him, it was revealed, or at least speculated, that each partner went under some sort of abuse and mental conditioning and blah blah blah, and that he cheated on them and he groomed them and such as this. And one of them was reported to have had a nearly life-ending seizure, wherein Onision's response was not to go call 911 and get help, but to record it and post it to YouTube.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, so more and more shit has gone out, and now there's allegations that he groomed an underage fan in order to live with him and his most recent spouse, things like that. And he keeps trying to come back, keeps trying to get his career back, but there is so much bullshit, and he is so well known throughout the YouTube sphere and the internet sphere as a whole now, he can't come back because no one wants to see it.
That's somebody who's trying to play the controversy game, but doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. 'Cause I'm sorry, when Andrew Tate can still fucking be around, can still be a major thing after all the shit that he's done.
Yeah.
Or like the FaZe Clan, or the fucking Paul brothers, or fucking not Seth Rogen, but Joe Rogan. Just there is a very set plan that you should be following. And it's just like,
I still can't figure out who is worse, Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg. I still can't. I still, in my mind, can't figure out which one is worse. I think that they're both equally equally
That's
bad.
a subjective thing. It depends on the scenario.
I think there is an answer. I think there is an answer, and it's Elon Musk.
I don't know, because Mark Zuckerberg a while back did this event. It was I guess to promote video games on the Quest 2. And it was like a panel, not even a panel. It was him and one of his lackeys, for lack of a better term, sitting in front of each other, and she was like questioning him on all the upcoming games and stuff like that. But his responses were it looked like he was reading off of a goddamn teleprompter. It looked so fake, and he was like saying,
"Here's my point. Here's a very, very simple, cut and dry comparison between the two. Okay."
Yeah.
Elon Musk, when he took over Twitter,
he ran it into the ground.
No. Elon Musk absolutely just went off the deep end because there were parody accounts being made. Of tons of people. But within the past week, Elon Musk has responded to a parody account of a politician on Twitter publicly. Mark Zuckerberg hasn't been that stupid.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
No, Mark Zuckerberg is more fake than stupid. That's my problem with him.
That's the problem, though.
Well,
it's like being fake. Tons of people are fake. Elon Musk is hypocritical and doesn't and is just. If somebody makes a parody account of somebody that he likes, it's automatic termination, automatic banning from Twitter. But if it's a parody account, without marking it as parody of somebody he doesn't like, he'll interact with it and promote it. That's evil.
There's one more reason I think I hate Musk more. Musk was definitely born rich and just has no skills. Whereas Zuckerberg, I don't think he was born rich, but he definitely has at least some inkling of what goes on his page with his company.
Oh my God. The fucking another point of how of how out of touch things they are. Musk is compared to Zuckerberg. Elon Musk got really tired of everybody pointing out the whole his father owned a share in a South African emerald mine. he kept denying it. And he finally put up on Twitter, hey, I will give $1 million to anybody who can prove it. His dad came out and said, hey, can I claim the prize? Because I'm pretty sure I can prove it. All the kids knew that I owned half a stake in a South African emerald mine. Like, he went on, he actually did an interview about it and was like, yeah, it's true. I don't know where he's getting this, oh no, it never existed bullshit. And it's like, the dude has his own father being like, hey, no, son, don't you remember there were emeralds? Where do you think your sister got all of her emerald jewelry? It's like, that was from our mines. What the fuck are you talking about? It's like, the level of just
insanity.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
The being willing to say a ridiculous... Who was it who said, just don't say a little lie, say a big one. Say a ridiculous, unbelievable lie, say it over and over again until people believe you. And the problem is a lot of people actually believe him on that. Against, all evidence.
Like I said, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like when you come up with bullshit like that, and then your own father is like, yeah, you're talking about me. I can prove that I had that. Pay me $1 million, son. It's like, jeez, that is just a fucked up family.
Yeah. Well, going back to the point I was going to make is I think it's subjective. In the long run, I say it's Musk. Because Zuckerberg, in his little sphere, yeah, he is a massively corroding influence, and he's an idiot. He's fake as shit. He's not as popular nor as trend-setting as he thinks he is. But outside of that, he's relatively harmless. Zuckerberg is a joke, so he doesn't have much reach. Musk, on the other hand, is an ongoing threat, shall we say. He's got influence. He's got connections. He can still make an impact on massive amounts of industries. That's wherein he becomes worse than Zuckerberg. Because all of his viewpoints, all of his idiocy, can still impact a huge sphere of people.
But not just industries. With him being able to make massive decisions as far as Twitter, he can affect political. He can affect nations.
Yeah.
Look at the controversy with Turkey, where he was like, "Oh, hey, we got to throttle it back, or Twitter's just gonna flat out crash and not be available anywhere in Turkey." So he selectively throttled back certain accounts for certain political parties. Zuckerberg may be inept and stupid, but Musk is stupid and more than willing to just fuck with whatever he wants so that the world turns out the way that he wants.
He's stupid and connected.
Yeah.
No wonder he basically seems so much like Trump.
Oh my God! Did anybody see the fiasco? Surely you guys have at least heard of the fiasco of the Ron DeSantis campaign announcement. Elon decided they decided that they're going to make the official announcement to the public on a Twitter space. Elon created the Twitter space. They couldn't get it to work. Twice. They had to do it 3 different times before they actually got it to work. It's like, you would think that they would do some testing and be like, okay, this is going to be massive for Twitter. Maybe we should run a few tests here and there. It's like, maybe make sure we know what the fuck we're doing. We know how the fucking thing works. We own it, so maybe we should know how to be able to actually work it before it. But no, he's just like, nope, we'll do it. It'll work.
Oh dear. Rich people with too much money. Yay.
Pretty much, yeah.
I love how we always we don't want to get too political on the show, but every time we talk about this, we're just like, you know what?
I said nothing political. I said, oh no, dumb rich people with too much money. That
Which
was nothing
is
political.
going to send me off into my capitalism is bad.
But
I don't think capitalism is bad. I think rich, selfish assholes is bad. That can happen in any country.
it's true. And I would like to point out, we say no political talk, but we're not really talking politics as much as we are talking news.
This is true.
We are reporting, we are talking about an event, not about, oh, well, this group's good, this group's bad, or anything like that. That's where I would say the difference really lies.
We do launch into individuals.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember the night we statted out Musk. Oh, God, that was hilarious.
And it's still holding. That's the best part. We've made one tweak.
Yeah.
Wait, what was our tweak?
Actually, it wasn't even a tweak because I'd originally pointed it out. But when we first statted him, I think Gamers and Sin gave him a point in wisdom. And I was saying, no, that wouldn't make sense. He needs another point in charisma because he actually has more persuasion than he does wisdom. And we argued about it for a couple hours, and then 3 months later, another controversy came out where he had, I think it was Dogecoin or something. And I was like, look, see, the stats don't lie. He has more persuasion.
Oh yeah, he can convince people that it's a great idea. Well, going back to the whole Twitter space debacle, he convinced everybody that it was a good idea, but he didn't have the wisdom to make sure it fucking worked before they did it.
Oh my god, so I have someone watching right now in Second Life, and they're just squeeing. What do you mean you statted out Musk? Wait, oh my god, you guys are D&D nerds. You have no idea.
Used a different game system to stat out. I don't even want to.
You know what we should do? If we really want to have a night where we just need to kill our brains, we should stat him out in Fatal System.
About it, but my gods, I didn't want to say it out loud. You now have to come up with the circumference of his left areola. You know this.
And worse.
God.
You're kind of cutting in and out there, Ras.
Need to replace this headset. But, yeah.
Hey, sorry guys, I'll be right back. I'm just grabbing my dinner.
Alright, take it back. Aren't you just so glad you joined in, Ragdoll?
Oh, absolutely. Y'all make my week.
Okay, so just so we know, who here has read the Fatal book?
I occasionally try to read the entire thing, but I always end up passing out, drunk, or brain damaged before I can finish.
Valid.
I know nothing.
Oh, gods. Alright, the best way to learn about anything as a Crib Notes effective way about any game system is to look at the character sheet. And, oh gods, Fatal's character sheet speaks volumes.
Okay. I'm
Okay,
not sure.
so-
Alright, hang
how
on,
do we
I'm going to
explain
dig this thing up, and I'm going to put it in the Pirates channel.
Yeah, you do that while I try the best to explain.
Well, I was going to say, put it
the
in Pirates
overview.
channel or the general channel.
Yes.
No, we're not putting it in general.
I wouldn't.
Because Fatal... I'm trying to...
Not safe for work.
Extremely. But
Oh,
also
wow.
not safe for polite company.
It's true. It's
Okay,
very...
okay, hold on. I'm just fuck it. You know me.
Yes.
Well, I'm talking to Ollamh. You know me.
Yeah.
This is one of those council moments where I've been trying to be polite, but it's time for me
Ah.
to stop being polite.
Okay.
The fatal character sheets include stats for strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, grip, homosexuality, anal circumference, anal capacity, vaginal capacity, dick length, cum production.
Oh wow.
I came back at the weirdest damn time. What the hell?
Yep.
No, what? This is like when Olaf leaves and then comes back from the bathroom and we're like talking about the weirdest shit.
Exactly. I'm glad it
No.
happens to others and not just me.
Okay, I cannot find a bloody
Our Second Life viewer said it best with the message in all caps of, "Pardon me, what the fuck?"
Yep.
I should note that the book itself is 977 pages as a PDF.
Oh, and that's the revised edition.
The original was longer, wasn't it?
Yes, the original was over 1,000 pages.
Oh, good lord. Yeah.
It was written by two people who claimed that they had outgrown the D&D system, and they didn't find it realistic enough, nor adventurous enough. And by adventurous, they apparently meant not only is they need to include sex and taboo sex, but also anyone who's a homosexual should be immediately stoned or take massive debuffs until they can no longer walk. Racism, sexism, all women should have rape fantasies and be chained into towers.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, you know, your basic stuff.
So these are the bad type of D&D nerds that eventually hit puberty.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, so Fatal itself, FATAL, is an acronym. And I have to... what it means now, they changed the acronym originally. It now stands from another time, from another land. Or from another time, another land. But its original meaning, I have to look up.
I'm kind of scared.
The original meaning was fantasy adventure to adult lechery.
Okay. Yeah. I think this is one of the. I think this would be one of those statting them out that we kind of do in private. Just be like, yeah, we don't.
Oh, not just in private. This is going to be like me and Ras have nothing better to do, and we have a good few days to kill.
That's how long character creation takes.
Yeah, that's just. Nope.
Tis a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go. To give you a better view, some of your available spells are against every wild animal, aquatic creature, and robbers. That's a spell. That's not a modifier. That's the actual spell. Bestow ulcer and force fart.
Oh yeah. These were this absolutely written by somebody with a teenage mentality that basically just hit puberty, was like, hey, let's make our own shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, force fart? Did we just step into the stick of truth?
Right? Yeah.
What?
I would have to
Wow,
find
what?
the rulebook again to find the specifics, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, basically.
Oh my god. It's like
Jeez.
Cartman made D&D.
I would give Cartman more credit than this. Also, the character sheet, as it is in the book, unless I've severely miscounted this, is 11 pages long.
See, I don't know if I would give Cartman more credit than that.
Oh, you don't got to worry about this stream being demonetized. This stream will never be monetized ever.
my reason for saying that though is that, you know, Cartman once he hits puberty would absolutely fucking make this. The problem is that Cartman is a dumbass that knows nothing about sex whatsoever. That's the saving grace.
Yeah, that's kind of Cartman's only redeeming thing. Is,
Could we call that a
he's in
saving
4th
grace?
grade.
I don't know if I'd call that a saving grace, though. I mean, it's sad, but I don't know if I'd call it saving.
Well, I call it saving because if they ever actually show the South Park kids going through puberty and actually getting interested and knowledgeable about any part of sexual relationships, yeah, Cartman is just gonna be the absolute fucking worst.
Okay, so what I have just linked there is the updated rulebook for From Another Time, Another Land. So again, this is after they cleaned it up.
Jesus,
It's bad.
No,
I'm
just looking at the cover. It's like, nope.
Yeah. Because I just put that back because somebody commented, well, what was it? Let's not forget that the book for D&D 2E originally had a barbarian woman with bare breasts hanging out on the front. And I was like, well, there's this.
The character shit, by the way, begins on page 837. I accidentally said character shit, but I'd like to think that holds.
I mean, no, that stat doesn't show up until 3/4 of the way into the character sheet.
But ching. And if your shit stat isn't high enough, it will not hold.
God, we wish we were kidding.
I just.
Maybe they tripped acid when they wrote it. Who knows?
No, that's the best part. They claim that they did this with hours of back-breaking, mind-bending research, and that they were studying medical textbooks to make it as accurate as possible.
Playboy is not a medical textbook. I'm
like,
sorry.
I don't mean they're not stupid and not on acid. Like, that didn't tell me anything. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, it's.
Okay, example. I don't drink very often, and when I do, it doesn't take much, okay? But I have written some really just, like, horrifically bad stuff, and then when I'm sober again, I'm like, huh, look at that. The difference is I don't publish it.
Point.
Yeah.
I have never been drunk. I've been sleep deprived, written a D&D campaign that no one should ever play, and admittedly, I forced my players to go through it, but like you said, Ragdoll, I did not publish it.
I'm just saying.
I just found a way to shoehorn the Monophysite heresy into a D&D modern game.
I'm going to point out that, again, while I'm writing my campaign, I have a hint system that literally can give you pregnancy and STD. Difference is, I don't sit here going, yeah, it's completely accurate.
Oh my god. The bizarre corners that we fucking find ourselves in at times. Oh
Yeah, I'm just gonna reiterate the whole you never getting monetized thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's be fair. With the shit we bring to this podcast,
Oh, that's the best part, because I was sitting here thinking of, like, okay, when I have pirates over on my channel, like, we could just go into darker shit. And I was like, no, because eventually I do want to monetize my channel. It's like, we push the envelope on this side. If we went into anything darker, there's no way.
Oh no, we go into anything darker. It's not a question of monetization. It's a question of, do they just shut the entire fucking channel down?
That's pretty much it. It would
And
just...
they will. They'll shadow ban you. If not, just flat out do it.
Oh no, they do not shadow ban. They just flat out will ban.
Yeah, shadow ban is basically, oh hey, you don't make us any money, so we're not really gonna recommend you.
Yeah, I've been shadow banned for a while because of the fact that I never got the viewers or the. I got the lifetime views, and then they moved the goalpost, and then I
Yeah.
never got the viewers. So I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, if you can't
So-
if you can't monetize, you are essentially shadow banned.
What is shadow ban? What do you mean? Like they just randomly ban you?
No,
No, shadow ban means that you're not officially banned. Like you can still participate, and people can find you and talk to you, but you're not actually included in the community.
Well, that's
Ah.
that's kind of it. Okay, think of Twitter. Shadow banning would be somebody could tweet something, but if they're shadow banned, it's not really going to show up unless you are specifically unless you specifically follow them and tell Twitter to show you everything that they post. They will never promote it. They will never put it on somebody's just like, oh, hey, this person that you follow also follows this person, so we're going to show you their stuff because maybe you'll want to follow that person as well.
I mean, you're not going to get recommended or like a For You mention or anything like that.
Yeah.
So if people don't know who you are, it's hard to get a following because they never just kind of stumble you across your channel.
Yeah.
I kind of lucked out in that regard because a while back I streamed Stage and Land. I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago. I streamed Stage and Land, the final build before it got canned by CBS. And there was an article somewhere on the internet, and they used my video. They linked my video in this article, and that's how I got a whole shit ton of people coming to my channel. And I think that's my highest viewed video at like 60,000 views, if not more. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I actually had something kind of similar to that happen with a couple of my videos. It was the Lord of the Rings online videos. On their official blog, they were like, "Hey, these are people who are playing it," and included mine in a couple of them. So it's like, oh, I had no idea. I'm like, I looked at my stuff, and it's just like, oh yeah, so. This is like mad, this just like completely blew up, and I'm like, why the fuck does this why of all videos does this one have it? It was like right in the middle of it. And it's like, oh, then
that's the same thing that happened to me. Like I just went on my my YouTube settings and all that kind of shit, and then I looked at my views for that Stage and Land video. I'm like, holy shit, what the hell? Why is this like? it had a ton of comments and a ton of views, and then that's when I realized that it was featured on a article. I do think you should stream that game at some point, though, Ollamh, if you can get it to work. I think you'd have a lot of fun with it.
Okay,
still really
but I have to
confused.
share this to the Pirates channel just for wrestling. I found the blurb.
I'm still really confused. Looking at the view count, I'm really confused because like Treasure Mystery Island, this like shitty little game that just like I stumbled across on Big Fish Games. That's like my most viewed, like the top 9. The out of the top 9, like 8 of them are from that are just that entire series. It's like, why the fuck? Why that one? I'm so confused.
Yeah, I did see that page earlier. I was scrolling through the book backwards for the character sheet and saw the author page.
Yeah.
Do you think that's like a curse with artists, though? Like, okay, for example, the guy who wrote Sherlock Holmes, Arthur Conan Doyle, apparently he got to the point that he like hated Sherlock Holmes, which sucks because I love his work, but that was like all anyone knew him for, and no matter what else he wrote, it was always Sherlock Holmes that everybody got excited about. And that seems to happen to a lot of artists, writers, gamers. Like, it doesn't seem to matter. There'll be something small they do, and they're like, yeah, it was okay, but like that's how everybody knows them.
That's why Sir Arthur Conan Doyle killed Sherlock Holmes in the Reichenbach Falls. Originally, that was supposed to be the end of the character, but because of the immense hatred for killing off Sherlock Holmes, he's like, well, shit, now I gotta bring him back.
Yeah,
He's like, well, now I gotta write out that he didn't actually die, that it was all just,
Yeah,
it was all a setup.
Well, it was to escape the people that were working under Moriarty from coming after him.
Yes.
Which, I mean, as far as like trying to figure out a reason for it, it kind of makes sense.
No, I mean, it was well done. I find it interesting that, no matter how popular people get, they're always known for that one thing. And in some cases, they don't mind, but a lot of times that's like, why? Why does it have to be this one thing?
Yeah, we've talked about it a few times with Harrison Ford and fucking Han Solo.
Oh, yeah.
How much he just hates that character.
Oh, he does. He does.
Because everybody's like, oh yeah, that was the birth of your career. It's like, dude, he had been acting for over a decade before that in TVs. He was in this really, really tiny, small little movie that nobody heard about called American Graffiti.
There was, you can find it on YouTube. There was a video of Conan O'Brien. He had on Harrison Ford. I think it was Conan O'Brien. And it was like asking questions from the audience to Harrison Ford. And he goes, no Star Wars questions. And so then it goes to the audience. It goes to specific people in the audience. And it's like a guy dressed as like Princess Leia holding a lightsaber, a guy dressed as a Wookiee, and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they're asking, like, they're trying to ask questions, but not make them Star Wars. They like stand up and they're like,
oh no, that was just a bit.
I know it was, but it was funny as hell. They were making fun of it, but it was so funny.
But yeah, it's the people that it's the stuff that he'd go around promoting a movie that was oh god, what was it? Tom Clancy? No, it wasn't Tom Clancy. Was it like A Clear and Present Danger?
Yeah.
Air Force One? Is that what you're talking about?
No, like A Clear and Present Danger. He took over from Alec Baldwin after Hunt for Red October.
Okay.
It's a book series that was turned into a series of movies.
I always just thought they were just called Tom Clancy novels. It's Jack Ryan's the character, right?
Yes. That's the character name was Jack Ryan. He did 2 movies as Jack Ryan after Alec Baldwin did Hunt for Red October. Was like, nah, I don't want to do any sequels.
I'm surprised he's even in the upcoming next Indiana Jones movie. To be honest, I wasn't expecting him to come back after the last one.
Oh, yeah, I'm not surprised by that, actually. I'm not surprised by that.
Right.
Mostly because
Indy survived being nuked in a fridge. He's not going to die.
Yeah, I mean, they made it very clear that Harrison Ford, that Indiana Jones' story wasn't over quite yet at the end of Crystal Skull. When the hat blew it to his son's feet, his son picked it up and was starting to put it on, and Harrison and Indiana Jones just came in and just snatched it out of his head and just like, not yet, kid. It's like, yeah, that was very much a, hey, there's one more that's gonna be with Harrison Ford.
I am not as surprised about the Indiana Jones continuation as I am that supposedly he's supposed to be in the new Captain America. That kind of surprised me. Not in like a bad way, but just in a I didn't think of him for that role.
Yeah.
But,
I think the only reason that he got that role is because the original Thunderbolt Ross passed away.
That makes sense.
And it's like, who do you get to who do you get to
Which original are we talking about?
The MCU Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
There was only one MCU Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah, I know. I was just laughing because earlier today I saw the Eric Bana version of Hulk and I was like, oh right, Sam Elliott was in this.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Harrison's been in so many movies that it kind of like blows my mind when people like can only think Star Wars. Because like I loved him as Solo, obviously, and I am a Star Wars fan. But I'm like, there's Indiana Jones, there's The Fugitive, there's The Age of Adeline, obviously American Graffiti. I think he was in Witness.
Yeah.
Clear and Present Danger, Thunderbolts, Apocalypse. Like, there's so many movies. Ender's Game and Hollywood Homicide and Morning Glory and Force something. That was one of the 70s movies. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Force from... God, I don't remember the name of this movie. I'm gonna have to look it up.
There's a role of his that I thought would be his least favorite one. That he was on the show Love American Style, and that always, like, I saw a bit of it as a kid, and I was like, what the?
Force 10 from Navarone, 1978. I mean, he's been in so many movies. Like,
Yeah.
It blows my mind that people are like, oh, I only know him from Star Wars. Like, if you're young, sure, but like, wow.
Okay, I have to look at this and get and see something here, because looking at the two actors side by side, as far as like just looking up MCU Thunderbolt Ross, I get the reason that they picked him.
Yeah.
Because him and William Hurt, actually, if you look at them side by side, they actually really do. Yeah, I can see the similarities between the two.
No, I mean, he's a good actor. I'm sure he'll do great in the role. I just, personally, up to this point, I've kind of always hated Ross. And I usually end up really enjoying whoever Harrison's for playing, regardless if they're a jerk or not. So I'm like, darn it. I got to kind of like realign my mindset for the new one.
Oh, well, I mean, that was kind of the original point of Thunderbolt until they decided, no, he needs to be a villain. He was just trying to do the right thing. And then they were like, nah, Thunderbolt's just an asshole.
Oh, Ragdoll, I forgot to
Fair
ask,
point.
did you cover the Frisco Kid in that list?
No, I didn't. But yeah, Frisco Kid, that's another great one.
You get to see him with Gene Wilder. I mean, I only found out about that film a few weeks ago. And I was like, what?
Really?
Yeah, I'd never seen it before, up to then.
I'm actually really surprised about that, because yeah, that was one of them that I remember as a kid. That was just awesome. Okay, so here I'm gonna throw it up on the channel here. As far as the pictures that come up as far as Thunderbolt Ross, and looking at those two, it's like, with the nose and the general cheekbones and stuff like that, cheekbones, jaw, nose, yeah, I can totally see them saying, hey, you know what? Yeah, he's gonna take over as Thunderbolt Ross. I could see them saying this is after he has had some sort of, that he has had at least one or two gamma radiation treatments, so it's kind of restructured his body and stuff like that.
And I mean, there's certain characters that, depending on where you are in the MCU, it wouldn't make sense for there to be a great change. But considering, I can totally see it. And like you're saying, like gamma ray, you're like, oh yeah, that kind of works with the storyline. Because surprisingly, other than, I want to say, Hulk and maybe like one other film, they've actually done a really good job with just the MCU itself and the whole continuity, and making like sure all the actresses and actors are the same or look very similar, and they've done actually a really good job streamlining that.
The one that blows my mind that nobody questions is Rhodey.
Oh well, yeah.
Like that one's just like, that's the biggest, like, oh hey, they just completely recast the character, no explanation, no nothing, just he's going from this person to this person. They're just like, and everybody's just like, yeah, okay. It's like, all the shitstorm after that as far as like, oh well, we're changing it from, you know, like even from Edward Norton to Mark Ruffalo, people are like, wait, what the fuck? Why are you changing the character? Why didn't you get him back? Blah 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 blah. It's like, all right, you guys are really gonna bitch and moan about that, but you're completely fine with Rhodey just being a completely different person.
Yeah, that was a hell of a juxtaposition between the two takes on the character.
Absolutely.
Actually didn't like when they recast Rhodey at first, but I've grown to like him.
He did grow on us, but you know.
No, I mean, I like Rhodey. I'm saying, like, transition-wise, it was like, they didn't address it. It was just done, and you're like, eh. But...
I mean,
And it could have been so easy, because Tony Stark is the exact kind of asshole to just randomly look at a friend and be like, did you get some work done?
He would. He totally would.
But yeah, I mean, with the amount of with all of the characters that are going to be in Captain America 4, yeah, it's. I think they're kind of leading up to. They're kind of leading up to. They're using this as a kind of a springboard for their new Hulk thing, provided that Universal doesn't decide to shell out a shit ton of cash to keep the distribution rights. Because it's like they've got they're the big bad in it. I guess is supposed to be the leader, which is God, I can't remember the character's name. The guy that was infected with Banner's blood in the Incredible Hulk.
Ah, yeah.
So they've got a gamma powered villain. They're making sure to keep Thunderbolt Ross, having to recast him and being like, no, we can't lose this character. It's like, okay, so we're probably gonna get Red Hulk as well. All right. It's like, why is this a Captain America movie again? I mean, they kind of rearrange things to the point where it's like, you know, the creation of the Hulk was actually trying to recreate the Captain America thing, but instead of using beta rays, they're using gamma radiation. But it's like, that's still just kind of like, this really should just be a Hulk movie, shouldn't it?
Well, and I'm trying to figure out exactly where they're going with it, because they did the whole spin-off series, basically, where it was Bucky and Sam, and, you know, it's the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and he becomes the next Captain America. Which, okay, follow it. You got it. I'm following it. But... like right now, if you've been watching the series, you got that, you got Loki, and you got WandaVision, and we don't have any conclusion to them so far. And then you have the Captain America movie coming up, but like you're saying, they're having a lot of characters coming in. They're doing more with Hulk. There was also like the She-Hulk episodes, so you're bringing Banner back in. I'm like, is she gonna be mentioned? So they have so many elements going on that I don't know exactly how they're going to piece it together. And before, they had built up the storyline so much with the whole, okay, we've had 3 Iron Mans, we had the 3 Cap movies where it was Steve Rogers, and then Steve Rogers and the Avengers, and then Steve Rogers and Bucky, and then kind of coming full circle. So you could follow that along between with the Avenger movies. But now, unless you've seen the spin-off series, you haven't really seen Sam as Captain America. So I don't know how they're going to play that, but yeah. I'm staying optimistic, because I would say at least through, you know, the Infinity Wars, they did a pretty good job. And I actually do like the spin-off series they've been doing, but I don't know how they're going to tie that in with the films, especially if not everybody's seen them, to where it makes sense. So
yeah, that's I think that's a fair point, because it's like, yeah, you're relying on people. Hey, you have to have seen this show to understand who Captain America is now. You have to have seen this show to know who, you know, who Loki is, who Loki is. What I don't know if Loki's really going to tie so much into it quite yet. But I mean, like, even with like Quantumania, it's like, well, who the hell is Kang? Who is this person? It's like, well, you have to have kind of seen the last season of Loki, the last episode of Loki, to really get an idea of that character.
Well, and I would say that they could still keep doing it how they have been and still come out with a great next couple of movies. Because, again, for a while, they kind of had like 3 or 4 different arcs, and they kind of tied it all in with the Avenger movies in a way where it did make a lot of sense. But also, you just went to the theater or watched it on video with your friends or whatever, and you did not have to have Disney Plus, where, if I'm correct, could be wrong, I'm pretty sure some of these series have still only ever been on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Whereas the movies you could potentially have seen somewhere else, but a lot of the series were not like released on DVD where you could just buy them, or you had to really seek them out, especially like the post-pandemic and everything. So it's not that I don't think it's good, and I do keep up with most of it. It's more of if they're really big fans and they went to the movies, but they're not prescribed to Disney Plus, so they haven't seen all these series, I don't know if they're going to be conscious of that and then just give elements that are enjoyable for people who've seen the miniseries but still enjoy just the main continuum, or it's going to become essential. And I think that's where it's going to get tricky, personally.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're really releasing DVDs. I mean, going back to our discussion a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I don't know if they're officially releasing DVDs. Like, you can find places like on eBay where it's like, oh yeah, we've got She-Hulk Attorney at Law DVD. It's like, is that legit, or did somebody just record it while they off of Disney Plus and then burn it to the DVDs and sell it?
Yeah.
You just reminded me of my dad's friend is a huge fan of Adam West's Batman. And so before the Batman Blu-rays came out, because that was under a big legal battle, I don't know if you guys knew about that, but it was under a big legal battle of who owned the rights to that series. And before they could actually bring it out on Blu-ray and DVD, they had to go through a court system. So this guy went on a website, found the Batman box set, like the Adam West Batman box set, but it was recorded off a TV. And the quality was so terrible. And he gets these DVDs, and I think they were like made in Asia or something like that. And he was showing them to me. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, I got the entire Batman series on DVD." I'm like, "Oh shit, they finally released it." And then he shows me this box, and I'm like, "This isn't official, is it?" He's like, "I don't know. I think it is." And I go and play them, and the quality is like worse than VHS. And I'm like, how much do you pay for this?
Oh no,
I would have just waited until the Blu-rays.
That's the thing though. It's like you may be you may want to wait until the Blu-rays or till they release the DVDs. But there's some of them that it's like, well, like with the court case, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, okay, well, your deal says that you can release them on VHS, but it doesn't say anything about new media. DVDs are not VHS, therefore we can release them directly on DVD. And it's like, no, we have it's a question of they didn't think at the time to include the term new media.
Well, this DVD collection that he got was literally from a website called, I think it's like called Free TV Shows or TV Shows on DVD or something like that. Oh, no. So it wasn't a legitimate. It wasn't a legitimate.
Oh no, I understand that.
DVD.
No, I understand that. I've done that. A friend of mine, his father had a bunch of old VHS tapes, but he couldn't find a VCR to play them on anymore. So he's like, hey. I've already bought them. I own them. I would like them on DVD. And it's like, okay, and I feel completely comfortable talking about this because it actually is legal. You can actually make a copy of any VHS or DVD that you have for your own personal use.
We've got business and... Sorry, go ahead.
So I was like, yeah, that's literally what I did. Was I hooked up an old old VCR that I had,
and I get that, but that's different to actually having a website called TV Shows on DVD, running out of somewhere in China, where they're like literally just taking VHS tapes, dropping them onto DVD, and then selling them on their site.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah. The distribution, the distribution and selling of those to other parties is the issue.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's like, even back then, the internet is. The internet will never be truly fully policed. It's just impossible because you shut one site down, 5 more are going to pop up.
Exactly.
And if there's a demand and nobody's putting out the actual official ones, people are going to be like, look, there's a demand for it. I am simply providing the supply for that demand. It's economics.
He eventually got the Blu-ray box set and then ended up throwing out the VHS recordings on DVD.
That's kind of a shame, actually, because you know what? The original DVDs he bought are probably more authentic. They're more in line with what the actual airing of them was.
I mean, true, but the quality was just...
Well, yeah. I mean, broadcast TV at that time, the quality was shit.
Yeah.
So it's authentic.
It's true. But I also have that box set that he has, the Blu-ray box set of Adam West Batman. And it's good. The quality is really good. So you can tell that they spent a lot of work on the Blu-ray set of that series, because the quality is really nice, but the hokiness is.
This is why I love some of the games on one of those games on Jackbox, because it's like I can spin just about anything into a positive. It's like, oh, these are shitty quality, yes, but so is the broadcast. It's authentic. It's more authentic than the actual DVD release.
You should be one of those telemarketers. just sell products on TV.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much what we're doing on YouTube. We have to sell ourselves.
It's true.
It's true.
That's true. And that is kind of what I do on Fiverr, actually. Is like legitimately people will send me this, like, send me a script and be like, I want an advertisement for this product. I'm like, okay. It's like, wow, this is really dry. It's like, all right, let's figure out how to pep this up and make and actually sell this as a positive. Yeah, okay, yeah, I can do it. I've had some of the driest, most boring, just like, oh dear gods, do.
So what, out of curiosity, what do you do on Fiverr, you yourself? Like, you do animation on Fiverr, right? I heard that.
No, I don't.
I think you said...
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
I don't do much in the way of animation.
Okay.
I will add, like, I can add, very basic, like, visual effects and stuff like that. But
okay.
most of it is people want an advertising video for their product or service or their website or something like that. If they want to go cheap, they have to provide the script. If they're willing to spend the money, I will write the script for them. And then I record it on a green screen, throw in some generic background that fits the theme, and put it together for them.
Interesting.
The only one that I've really done any type of animation for was, for some reason, somebody had like this clip of, I think it was like a Little Britain clip that was like, you know, it was a diet thing where they're like, oh yes, well, you know, what else is a good thing to eat on a diet? Dust. That's right, dust. And they, you know, the gal was just holding up this little placard that said dust. But they were like, the product was like spud dust. So it's like, you know, like little flavorings that you put on a potato or something like that. And it's like, basically it was just tracking that placard and putting their product in the woman's hand.
Okay.
Isn't
there like legal ramifications to using something else and then shoving your?
It's questionable, but I think they would be absolutely fine with. I think they could argue fair use because it is transformative. Because instead of talking about actual dust, they're talking about this specific seasoning.
Fair enough.
I've done way too much research on fair use.
I mean, all of YouTube was kind of getting into it by necessity for a while, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember the WTFU campaign.
Mm-hmm. That's like that's the main reason why most game companies don't even try and go after people who do Let's Plays of their game. Because it's like, if they're providing commentary, or if it's, hey, you choose how you approach this specific this specific goal, that is inherently transformative.
I don't know why they would care anyway, because at the end of the day, if I'm watching a YouTuber playing a game, and I've done it with your channel, where I've seen you play a game that I've never played, I watch you play it, and then I go, oh damn, that looks good, I'm gonna buy that. You know what I mean? So I mean, like, at the same time, I feel like developers are like, well, you know, it could potentially be making us money, because all these viewers that are watching, at least 10 to 20%, if not more, are going to go out and buy this game anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think what most of them are afraid of is that people are going to watch the person play the game and be like, oh, okay, so now I know all the story of the game, I know everything that happened in the game, blah blah blah. I don't need to buy the game. I just want to enjoy the seeing the story play out.
I mean, I could see that for some people, but majority of gamers want to experience the story for themselves, especially when it's a game that has like branching storylines and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
A majority of modern day games do now, where, you know, there's multiple endings and stuff like that. So something that a YouTuber did when they did their playthrough may not necessarily be your playthrough. So I don't know. I mean, I could see that happening back in the day when there wasn't branching storylines, but now that majority of the games have multiple different endings, I can't see that as being a reason.
Yeah, it's weird. It's quirky. I mean, I think the only company that really had any problem with it was Nintendo.
No, Nintendo. They have a problem with a lot of things.
Yeah, and
let's be fair.
And I think Nintendo's biggest problem with it is more of a cultural thing.
Yeah.
Than anything else, because it's like, you know, it's no, this is our game. We don't want you just like doing this. It's more of a, this is illegal in Japan. Versus,
it reminds
me
of
how is this law in the U.S.
It reminds me of a Japanese FMV game I have. It's a horror game, and horror science fiction-y, but it's really well done. But at the very beginning of the game, before you even go to the main menu, there's video recording of the main character you're playing as in the game saying, "Don't stream this game." we have made it so you cannot stream this game because we don't want anybody knowing the story. This is you play this, that's fine, but don't put it on YouTube. They literally put a video of the actor saying that before the main menu of the game, and I'm like, okay. I wonder how many people are going to listen to this.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, I mean, and speaking, actually kind of circling back around to our main topic as far as AI and algorithms. Oh my God, the fucking the media protection algorithms that these companies use. And I don't mean YouTube, I mean like the ones that are like just straight up abusing it. The Merlin network is those fucking people.
I do know that, like, so for the longest time before I had my YouTube channel, I was streaming content on Facebook. And there's these streams are from like 5-6 years ago. And every time now I go on my Facebook, I get a copyright strike. Or like, you know, oh, the music in this is owned by AMG or whoever. And I'm like, and so it's muted in certain parts of the world. And I'm like, well, it took you long enough. that video was streamed 6 years ago. You're just figuring this out now.
Like, the Merlin network, basically anybody can upload a song, whatever song they want, to this company's list, basically, and they will copyright claim any video that has any of this. So, like, random people will upload, like, stuff from Epidemic Sound, where I have a license that with them to use any of their stuff for any stream, whatever, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And Merlin when somebody uploads one of the songs to Merlin Network, and all of a sudden Merlin Network's like, nope, we're claiming this on behalf of this person or that person. The most recent one was one episode of my Deponia videos from 2019. And the beautiful part of it is that they don't even know what the fucking name of the song is. So they just typed something in and then said, no, it has to be hidden because it's not publicly available. It's not the song name isn't available to the public.
I think I remember reading that on Discord. I think you showed a screenshot.
How would you even get it if you didn't know the name of it to get it?
Well, that's the thing, is because they typed in like whatever the name was, and then they said, nope, this isn't publicly available. YouTube doesn't display what they say the song title is. So I can't sit there and say, hey, no, they're saying that this song is, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, but it's actually, I think it was like, Huzzah, Who's Gonna Care? Like, the literal fucking name of the song is Huzzah, Who's Gonna Care?
So you got a copyright strike for Deponia?
That one episode was copyright claimed and then blocked worldwide.
It's just,
Jesus.
This almost sounds more like someone wanted to erase the episode.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I said, they're saying, oh, well, it's Merlin Networks is who's putting the claim on the video, but they're doing it on behalf of the original creator for the song. But it's like, this was literally created just for this game.
Interesting you bring that up, because I have all the Deponia games and I was thinking of streaming them at some point, and now I know maybe I shouldn't.
Oh no, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Like I said, this is like it's like the only thing that I did videos of it back in 2019, and like this is the first time I've had any kind of problem. And yeah, there are a bunch of assholes who, like I said, anybody can upload any song they want and say, hey, this is mine. So it's like if they uploaded Michael Jackson's Thriller, if nobody had uploaded Michael Jackson's Thriller to their database yet, they could say, hey, this is mine, copyright claim anybody who has it. I don't want to block it, I just want you to claim it so that all the money connected. There we go. Okay, we're back.
Oh, did you hear anything I said?
No, I heard you because we're going through Discord. It just cut out as far as streaming out to people. But we're back.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it was something on my end because my screen just went crazy on YouTube. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so Knights of the Old Republic, I know that I remember Sin was looking forward to it. I think Rasklin was looking forward to it too.
At least a little, I mean.
Yeah, so what ended up happening was it's now scrapped entirely. It's not being made at all. And I've looked on multiple sources on the internet to confirm this. Basically what happened was, so at E3 they showed the trailer of the game, all that kind of stuff, and then I guess at some point Sony went to the developers who were working on it and they gave Sony the game that they had, and Sony was disgustingly unimpressed. And Sony said, you know what? You're fired. You are not working on this game. And they couldn't find anybody else to pick up the rights to the game or who wanted to work on it. And so they just decided, no, we're not doing this anymore. The game is done. And so they're not working on it, period. It's scrapped. Which is kind of sad.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if something still eventually does come up.
Maybe.
I
don't know.
There's way too much hype for it for them to be like, nope, it's all done. It's like now if they say, hey, we have to shop around for a new developer, new programming team and stuff like that.
Well, see, I can understand, but there's two other Star Wars games coming out next year. One by Ubisoft, which is a open world RPG based Star Wars game where you can pick to play as a Jedi or Sith. So Ubisoft is working on that, and then we have David Cage, who created Detroit Become Human, Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain. He's working on a Star Wars game as well, and that's going to be more adventure game style. So we have two games coming out next year that are Star Wars themed, or Star Wars based games. And so I mean, like, I'm almost wondering if the people who were waiting for Knights of the Old Republic remake are just going to be like, well, I got these other two anyway. And one of them is kind of like a Knights of the Old Republic, and it's being done by Ubisoft.
I don't think people will just be like shift their expectations onto another game.
Fair enough.
I think there will still be very much demand for a remastered, reworked Knights of the Old Republic.
Well, I hope so, because it's been a long time since I played the original, and I would love to see it redone. That's for sure.
Yeah, the biggest thing is like, oh my god, EA Games has got to be fucking kicking themselves in the ass at this point, because they fucked up big time.
I'm assuming you're talking about the fact that, nobody wants to play single-player games.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the fact that they let their exclusive licensing for all Star Wars games to lapse.
I mean, to be fair...
Hold on. So who owns the rights to Star Wars now, then?
Okay, hang on a moment. What were you saying, Caden?
Saying this is only the most recent in the boneheaded dumbass moves EA has made.
That's fair enough. So no, Disney owns the rights to license out Star Wars games.
Mhm.
For the longest time, EA paid for an exclusive rights to distribute Star Wars games. That's why all of the most recent Star Wars games that have come out for the longest time were all EA games. They had
Okay.
a license that said, we are the only ones that can do Star Wars games. But
So then
they
it-
let that lapse. So now Ubisoft can make a Star Wars game. Anybody can get a license to make a Star Wars game.
Okay. So then I'm guessing that the last EA Star Wars game would have been Jedi Survivor then.
Oh, EA
Which
can
is-
still make them. They can still get a license to make Star Wars games. They just don't have an exclusive license. Meaning that they are no longer the only source of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which means they really got to step their game up, otherwise they're going to be left in the fucking dust. And honestly, I kind of hope they are left in the dust, because they made some really boneheaded choices.
They're not the smartest company in the world, that's for sure. I've never liked EA. Well, I shouldn't say that. So back in the day, back in the 90s when they made classic, I remember one of their first games that they made was like a Sherlock Holmes point-and-click adventure game back in the 90s, used FMV elements and stuff. It was really good. And back then their games were really good, but over the years they just got worse and worse and worse, to the point where it's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what the hell they're doing, but it's like, I remember with Mass Effect, that whole thing with Mass Effect and BioWare, where they rushed BioWare to make Mass Effect 3, so the ending wasn't done right, and then BioWare wanted to release a DLC, a free DLC, that was the proper ending to Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, the original trilogy, and EA was like, oh yeah, well, no, hold on, let's stop here for a sec. Why don't we'll release the DLC for the ending of the Mass Effect trilogy, but we're gonna make it. Why don't we make people pay for it? A little bit extra, like a paid DLC. And BioWare said to them, no, you do that, and we are never working for you again. And yeah, so I mean, EA has always been kind of weird. I don't know. I loved them back in the day, but their modern stuff, they just, I don't think they know what they're doing at all. I really don't.
Well, I mean, look at their biggest hits. Look at their longest running, biggest franchises.
Sports?
Exactly. It's the exact same fucking game with new names.
Yeah. No. It's so true. The hockey puck is in a higher resolution, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, let's slap a new coat of paint on this. Oh, hey, we got to change some names because this person retired. This person's, going up in stuff. And hey, boom. Let's just get it. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of, hey, we're just gonna, we only need to make a few little tweaks, and then we're gonna sell it for $60. So
I just noticed that Frog has said two things here. So first he says, hey, I want to say that I'm graduating tomorrow, and so I'm going to do something special for tonight and join in on this live stream. Quick question. So about AI and how it's learning more and more from other people in the world or from archives on the internet. Should there be a regulation on how much an AI should learn?
Ooh. Well, number one, Frog, congratulations on graduating.
Yeah. Congrats.
As far as a regulation on how much an AI should learn, that's I don't know if I don't know if regulation would if you could regulate that necessarily.
You can, and they already are.
I mean,
How's that going? Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Ragdoll.
Oh, I think that was Raz talking.
I thought I thought the three of us were trying to talk at the same time.
Sorry, no, y'all go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say last I heard the only regulations were what could be copyrighted, and AI stuff cannot be copyrighted, but that doesn't restrict where it can draw influence and
that's what I'm saying. There are two internet famous cases. One of them is Watson, and one of them is
Watson.
Was it Clover? It was the one that came after Chatbot, and they were both made to be legitimate AIs. They were supposed to take all they could, all the information from the internet, and learn it so that they could become an actual intelligence. The problem being, they literally said the entire internet. So not just YouTube, not just Encyclopedia Britannica, not just Wikipedia. We're also talking Reddit, Tumblr, Pornhub, every porn site. They had to
fantastic.
Clover because within 4 months of her learning through chat and going through the internet, she was screaming racial slurs every third sentence and using fuck like it was salt. They had to shut it down. They put in a string of code for Watson so that he cannot go to Tumblr or Reddit in order to learn, just so that he doesn't get filled with fandom shit, the constant politics, all the slurs, and all of that. So, my take on it is that if we had an unrestricted AI just learning everything from the internet, we wouldn't have to worry about a robot uprising, because that thing would be so unable to put together a coherent thought, it would just die.
I mean, I would say that is the company making a decision, because holy shit, we don't want our company associated with this, rather than an actual regulation saying, hey, you can't look at this. I don't think any kind of actual official regulation would work, because if it's publicly displayed, that would be like saying you walk past the Eiffel Tower at night with the lights all lit up and stuff like that. You can't use that as inspiration for your painting. Inspiration can come from anywhere, if it's public.
Speaking of Watson, did you guys ever watch that episode of Jeopardy where Watson was on Jeopardy, like the AI, and it was like a special episode. It was before Alex Trebek passed, and it was AI versus human. And there was like a kind of like a test, and the programmers who programmed Watson were in the audience. They were in the front row, and they had Watson there as like this giant computer screen or whatever, with like this stupid graphic of a face. And he was being pitted against one of the best Jeopardy players, and he lost. And it was really funny at the end. When Alex Trebek made a snide remark saying, well, I guess AI is not smarter than humans. And the programmers are in the front row like, what happened? What? Wait a minute. What? What's going on? Huh?
I mean, I will say another point against AI is somebody actually tried to file a legal brief as far as a legal motion using AI in court, and the judge kind of did his research. He's like, okay, so you presented this motion. We're gonna go ahead and recess so that I can do some research on this and stuff like that. He looked it up. The AI literally just completely fabricated 2 of the 3 cases that were part of the motion. It just
Oh God.
literally just made up a bullshit case that never happened anywhere in the world. It's just like, yeah, that's one of those things. Again, it's like, you know, everybody's worried about the AI, but it's like, look, as long as we don't allow AI to fact check AI, yeah, we really don't have I really don't think we have much to worry about.
Frog says, well, about the whole learning thing with other corners of the internet, I think that AI should use a text or code for education, wise for learning. This is me thinking about this, though.
Now
That's doing that, right?
yeah, it's okay. We're back. I think. Yep, we're back. Okay. Yeah, basically, it's the
buffering now.
yeah, it's the signal that it's sending to. It's the signal that it's sending to YouTube. That is, I don't know if YouTube's. I don't know if there's anything major going on that YouTube's getting flooded or what. But so yeah, I think kind of like the idea that some people have used in business as far as sending out separate emails to each person with slightly different misspellings, you know, basically tells that if this is, you know, if a news agency all of a sudden reports on this from an anonymous source, an anonymous leaker, and they print out the text, and it's like, okay, so this is misspelled, this word is used in place of this word, etc., etc., etc. They can tell exactly who leaked it. I think that I think that having certain, you know, having a specific tell in an AI response or AI, you know, written story or written paper or something like that, I think that would be a really good idea, honestly.
What I think is going on is I think the AI is forcing you to crash because we've never had this problem before. And now suddenly we talk about AI and twice now.
No kidding.
Fucking Skynet.
Right? There you go.
I still wonder about that one thing I brought up earlier. I mentioned the AI robot in Saudi Arabia that got granted citizenship. What's that going to mean? That sort of thing going to mean across borders? Because no matter what laws we pass limiting, say, what an AI can do or learn, we're going to wind up at cross purposes with someone else's ideas.
That, yeah, I could see that being an issue.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say what that made me think of.
Was it the Star Trek episode where Data makes a daughter?
No,
God.
no.
It's a creepy episode.
It was close. Okay.
Oh, Measure of a Man.
Basically, because I was like, this smacks back to like way back in the 1800s, where if you went to certain countries, yeah, there was no such thing as slavery and everybody was a person. You came to America or certain places in Europe, no, that's an object now. You can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's that's an interesting idea as far as that goes, because it's like, I mean, I guess the big question is it's like, well, at what point do you say, hey, you have to, you know, at what point do you have to prove that you are a person? I mean, I guess we're kind of going back to the old school Turing test. It's like, at what point do you have to prove that you are an actual person before your input is accepted?
I'm not gonna let my cynicism answer.
I mean, we've already pointed out that AI pictures are bullshit. So it's like, okay, you know, provide a picture of yourself in a crowd.
The interesting thing is that when I was looking at those parade photos, I wasn't looking at the crowd, and I kind of wish I was, because I would have realized right away that it was AI then. I was looking at the costumes, you know, the front and center, because my eyes were focusing on the front and center, not looking at the crowd. Had I looked at the crowd, I've been like, "Oh, that person's head is in their chest."
Yeah, that's
How
what I
dare you, sir? That could just be MODOK.
It is.
That's kind of my point as far as, it's the, the eye is drawn to a specific thing, so we need to really work hard on that one thing. Everything else we can just, speed through. And that's how it fools a lot of people as far as that.
That's taking everything my art teacher told me and throwing it out the window, because my art teacher was always like, the center focus. It's always the thing you have.
So Frog says if an AI got citizenship, then I say that we're fucked. The problem is AI is currently getting into shit where it's almost human-like texting or even chatting. Yeah. Well, okay, true, but like we said, there's certain ways you can tell that it's just an AI, and ultimately, AI can't grow beyond what it's programmed to do anyways, currently. I mean, like...
Skynet! No,
like I said, when they tried to let one run free and grow and learn naturally, it turned into a middle schooler. And if that's the level of AI that we got to worry about, we have nothing to worry about.
Oh shit! Some of the AI that they're like, oh no, the virtual girlfriend type thing that they were doing as far as like famous people.
What's that gonna learn? Oh, that's just gonna turn into a standard 4chaner.
Oh no, that's the thing, is they actually programmed it not to go into anything sexual. But the way the AI interpreted that command was not to initiate anything of a sexual nature. So if the human being initiated it, it would totally go right down the road and get into a sexual texting with somebody. It's it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, the rules just, I mean, from everything that I have seen and heard, it's like, no, AI will just, like, it'll break it will interpret the rules in a unique way that just kind of more or less gives it away, really.
Speaking of AI, have you ever messed around with that the AI bot on Discord yet? I haven't. I was just asking if any of you have tried using it.
No, I've dealt with enough fake people in my life that I don't need a computer generated fake person.
Fair enough.
No, I mean, I'm kind of with him. The amount of people, or the type of people that we've had to deal with together, we don't need AI.
Well, especially given the fandom that we're in.
That's kind of it. Like, between the fur fandom and the Second Life, AI, no.
Yeah. We deal with
if an AI ever tried to hurt my feelings, I'd just be like, oh, that's cute.
See, Frog, I'm not surprised with Snapchat being an AI, being mostly AI now. Like, Snapchat and TikTok are like perfect for it, because it's like, oh hey, but you're missing two fingers. It's like, oh well, the alpha mat fucked up, or something like that. So it's like, yeah, that's the one place. Those are the types of places where it would kind of be like, yeah, all right, we can, we can fudge stuff a little bit here. It's like the obvious mistakes could be explained in different areas. Oh my god, actually, speaking of AI, have you guys heard about this new quote-unquote camera?
What?
Can
you be more specific?
There's this camera that doesn't have a lens. Basically, it collects your geolocation and sends it out to the server that basically describes the area. So it's like, okay, it's this area, this time of day, etc., 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 and then it generates an AI generated picture of what's in front of you.
What the fuck?
That's
Just get a
weird.
blind painter.
That's I mean, my response to seeing that was, so it's like a camera but with more steps.
And less accuracy.
Frog says I fucked with the algorithm on TikTok and then had the AI on Snapchat give me some damn fine recipes for cooking. Well, okay. I mean, sounds like it's worked to your advantage.
Algorithms are hilarious to me because somehow my Pinterest algorithm is under the assumption that I am an older, middle-aged to geriatric white woman who needs pregnancy and marriage advice. I don't know how the fucking advantage is that when half the time I'm looking up Tumblr, fur porn, and Viking aesthetic, but there you go.
I mean, no, I could see that. I could see that for you.
I didn't say I couldn't pull that off. I'm just wondering how it got that from my search results.
Well,
But then again,
if it was
Pinterest goes off all your search results, like all your Google and shit. So yeah, it's showing up on my phone.
Exactly. If it was just looking at just the Tumblr search results, no. But knowing you, if it's looking at everything, oh yeah, I see that. And the fact that Ragdoll is laughing the way
It's because she knows my Pinterest.
she's I feel very, very confident saying, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, see, algorithms and AI coming up with recipes, not terribly surprising. Again, it's just sourcing out the internet, saying, okay, so, you know, they like spicy, they like savory, so look for recipes that are described, you know, especially with everybody giving their life fucking stories with a goddamn recipe.
I found somebody suggesting that if we ever did leak government secrets, just put them on a food blog.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Run Disney music in the background and let the mouse fight China for you.
No. Their whole point was like you just put them on a food blog. You make it under the guise of a recipe because everybody puts their life story and the life story of their 3 goddamn closest friends. Nobody's reading that shit. Just put it underneath that.
Yeah, like put it underneath it, put it in the middle of it, like, you know, here's my life story. Oh, by the way,
One day while I was at the mall with Becky.
Yeah, it's like, so, you know, my friend Becky, she's like this and this and this. One day we were at the mall and this guy just handed us an envelope that says that, you know, here's, you know, they gave us all the
use that book that I put in Pirates. That'll give you everything you need for this current scenario.
It's like, oh, here's all these government. We opened it up, and here's all these government secrets, and blah 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 blah. Anyway, then we went out and had this fantastic, you know, avocado toast. We got the recipe, and here it is.
Earlier, you guys were talking about the AI that was taking all this information from Reddit and everything. Originally, I thought you guys were going to say that, you know, once the AI took all that information from Reddit and everything, it realized, well, fuck, I'm just gonna kill myself now.
I think that's kind of what it did.
I'm done. Where's the gun?
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if, like, an AI that's just left with no checks and balances, just like, hey, learn everything you can about the human race and emulate it. It's just like does its research, then says nope, and just completely erases itself.
So there's an FMV game called Not for Broadcast. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's out on everything now, but it makes fun of the media, modern day, everything to do with politics, war, technology, everything. It's basically you're in charge of a news station, and it parodies the news and various things on the news. It's brilliantly done. But there's one part where they talk about AI, and they bring out this new AI, and this reporter is interviewing the scientists on the AI, and she's showing it off and everything, and she feeds all this information through the AI about like the human race and everything, and how well we've expanded or whatever, and the AI just responds back with fuck, 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 fuck. We're all fucked. And she's like, hold on, something's wrong here. And then it cuts to commercial break. I thought it was
It's like that
so
scene
well
out of
done.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The fuck do I want a lifetime supply of chocolate for? No, Frog makes a good point. War Thunder actually is currently having to remind its players again, do not leak classified military documents in order to improve your gameplay. So this is the thing. The players are so hardcore about the tanks in the game that I believe it started with a Tiger. It was a World War I Tiger, and they weren't happy with how it handled. So they went and found the actual specs and blueprints for a Tiger tank and posted them on the forums. And then it happened with a Sherman. And then it happened with a new one. And like the most recent one is a modern tank that's currently in service. You're not supposed to be able to get the documents. They're completely classified. Somebody went and found the blueprints and posted them on the forums. They were like, this is the actual specifications. This is what the tank can do. Modify the game, make the tank accurate. Like, guys, you cannot fucking do this.
Guys, when I was a kid, I had this friend, right? And she was the type of person who's like, I'm gonna beat him with a stick. And I was like, you can't beat people with a stick, you know? It's bad, it's immoral, you'll accidentally hurt him too bad, you'll get arrested, they'll think you're unstable, whatever. She's like, yeah, it's worth it, I'm gonna beat him with a stick. We need more people like her in our lives, and that's why, because there's some dumbass out there who's like, but my game's more important than the safety of the planet. And he would get us killed because he needs to be right.
Oh, I actually.
I mean, it's not like they're what is the word, discriminating. They literally didn't care what country it was. It was just like, this tank is wrong, fix it.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm aware, babe, but like, I don't care. I'm like, you dumbass. We should not all suffer because you had to be right for your game. I don't
Also,
care that much.
There's
Correct
worse.
me if
gonna
I'm
beat you with a
wrong.
baseball bat.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't War Thunder made by a Russian company?
There's always
I'm pretty
that.
sure it is.
There's worse out there though. There's worse out there. There was a military high I think it was a high ranking or decent ranking military person who was leaking classified information to gain internet clout with his selective little group. Like, he ran a Facebook group and was just like leaking all kinds of information to these people just for internet clout.
Who needs espionage spies when you have these fuckers out here? I'm just saying, they're cheaper, they're dumb, they probably work for peanuts and clout, so like...
People need to realize that what you say on Facebook actually matters. I speak from a cousin who actually... I think he said something, he was angry at our prime minister, said some choice words. Next thing he knew, he was visited by the RCMP. So you really got to be careful with what you say on any social media platform, because you don't need the police knocking on your door.
I mean, at this point, I'm so used to being wiretapped, I don't even care.
I mean,
my dad worked for the government. We're used to being wiretapped.
I know for I am 95% sure that I am at least on 2 or 3 watch lists. if for no other reason than one of them that a friend of mine posted something on Facebook as far as like how many eyeballs could you fit in a bathtub, and I did the research. As far as the average diameter of a human eyeball, the average volume of a bathtub, how much compression there is piling
Yeah, I
a
was
bunch
like, is
of
this a
eyeballs
flossal
up.
tub, a normal like consumer plastic tub?
Yeah, I went deep into it, and like
And I
I said,
just-
I figured out exactly how much an eyeball will compress down, how much space is around a compressed orb.
Did I just walk into an episode of Breaking Bad?
No, I'm pretty sure you just walked into an episode of Dexter.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, the internet decided to reveal to us just how much blood you would need to forge a sword from the blood of your enemies. And so the answer to this question was not far behind.
Like, yeah, the amount of shit that the amount of shit that I've looked up for videos, for just responding to somebody's post, to friends' post. Yeah, I guarantee I'm on at least one watch list. I have to be at this point because, dear gods, I've looked up some wild shit.
I have still been debating with myself, and if I ever actually get published, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna have to get a shirt that says I'm a mystery writer, not a serial killer, because I was working on my book last year, and I had to look up stuff like how much blood can you lose before you're officially dead, and what is the smell of a backfiring gun. And if you're slashed through this artery, approximately how much pressure do you have to immediately insert before, your heart stops from the pressure and things like that. And it did not occur to me until my professor asked at the time. They were like, so I know you're working on a pretty dark story. Have you been like researching at the library or on the web? Or I was like, oh, mostly on the web, but I gotta look in books too. And she's like, yeah. You sound like a serial killer. And I was like, oh, well then.
Suddenly I'm just reminded of that scene from Zohan where he's trying to comfort the kid and he's like, if this woman slips, she could cut your jugular. Your blood will be on the floor in 18 seconds. I've seen this. I've done this.
Yeah, kinda. I was like, well, actually, formaldehyde is not going to work as well as bleach, but bleach isn't going to work as well as this. And I was like, how long do you think a body would take to decompose in a chlorinated pool? But it's winter, and it's approximately like 35 degrees. And they're like, yeah, you need help. And I was like, oops.
To the FBI, welcome to our show.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back. You've been here the entire time. We all know it.
Wow.
I have to say, it always irritate it. It does always kind of irritate me on shows when they're like, oh, well, we're pretty sure this is the murder scene. You can smell the bleach in the air. It's like, who the fuck uses bleach to clean up blood?
I mean, you don't only use bleach.
I mean,
just
that's
a lot
why
of
I
work.
loved Boondock Saints when they showed like the shootout and they were spraying shit, and I was like, what the fuck are they carrying? And he's like, they used ammonia. I was like, okay, that's legitimately brilliant.
Ammonia, I mean, if, particularly if it's fresh, hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
Guys, you also have to consider, what are you cleaning? Okay, are you cleaning concrete? Are you cleaning carpet? Are you cleaning glass? Are you cleaning plexi linoleum? Like, it all depends. And then carpet, there's over 17 different fibers used in different types of carpets, and they all have to be cleaned different ways.
Horribly, because I worked in a kitchen, I can tell you with certainty that on almost all surfaces that are not upholstered or fabric-based, multi-quat sanitizer. That's all you need.
Oh, yeah.
Also, let's not forget that people are just sloppy. Like, you need to take a black light and check your work, but do that? No. And then there's obvious splatter, and do they paint? Do they clean? No. They have all that person's blood, that nasty, you don't know where it's been, infected crap, all over their supposedly clean house. It's gross.
So I once had to almost smack a guy because he was going to add bleach to my mop water.
Ugh.
With ammonia, of course.
Yeah, no, that was it.
Nasty.
He was like, "Oh, well, this is just straight water. You gotta have bleach." I was like, "That's not straight water. I have multi-quat in that." He's like, "Well, that's multi-quat. What's wrong with it?" So I had to draw out the name. I was like, "Multi-quaternary ammonia." It's
no.
like, oh.
Fucking horror story. Fucking horror story. My father, when he was a teenager, he worked at a pool. He worked at a public pool. They tested for leaks in the chlorine in the chlorine pipes with ammonia. He literally had to pour ammonia on the joints to see if there was any kind of a reaction.
Wow.
No words. None.
Yeah.
Just, wow.
Humans are stupid. We are dumb animals.
That's what I'm saying. As a society, we're beautifully, delicate, amazing survivalists, but we're also dumb as hell. It's a miracle we're alive.
See, if you're going to kill someone, I know what I would do. It's not a matter with what or what your cleanup is. It's a matter of where you kill them. Butcher shop. They're already expecting blood to be everywhere.
Well, it also depends
Yeah,
on
but
if
it would
you
also
care about
throw off
getting
any
caught or
results
not.
because of the amount of what's there.
Like, if you want to get away with a perfect crime, you go about it completely differently than if you just want them to suffer. I'm sorry. It's just
No,
fact.
actually, the best way to get away with the perfect crime is not to commit it. You
True.
convince others to do it.
I'm remembering now one of I was doing a shadow cast of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Ah, yay!
And one of the other cast members was I have no idea how the hell they got on this topic. But they were like, they were talking about like burning a human body and how it smells and the smell's gonna give you away and stuff like that. I'm like, no, it's very simple. All you have to do is the same thing they do with pigs. You take a pressure washer in order to basically shave the person. Because a pressure washer will get down into the pores and get it down in the hair follicles. That's what they use on pigs. And at that point, you just have roasty meat. And by the time I finished, I realized that everybody was just like sitting around, just staring at me, just paying in-depth attention. I'm like, I have said too much, haven't I?
I now remember those commercials you did for Home of the Long Pig.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Those... Oh.
I felt so smart when I caught that in the first Pirates, or not the first, but like in Pirates of the Caribbean. That one guy was like, delicious long pork, and I was like, wait, did he just? He did.
God, what was it? Yes, it was H.L. Butcher's, wasn't it?
I think so. You said Home of the Long Pig.
Yes.
And you did the sinister smile.
Yes, the H.L. Humanitarian Butcher Shop. Oh my God, that was back in 2017.
You know, I'm just getting more and more ideas for that. Was it that joke we tossed around way back when, where we're gonna like do a noir style mystery?
I mean, there's so much creative ways to get away with things. Do you disintegrate it? Do you blow it up? Do you blame it on someone else? Do you convince someone else to convince someone else to convince someone else to do it without creating a paper trail? Do you make someone else go crazy and do it themselves? You could also have someone eat the decomposed body, but not really my cup of tea.
No, see, I think me and Ollamh had the best idea when we were doing our comparisons. It's just you make it legal.
Yeah, I don't like the whole legalized murder thing, though.
I'll go ahead and post a link to it for in the Discord and the chat, because I was actually very proud of that.
Oh, no, I mean, it's exceptionally clever. I have this thing, just me personally, that I don't think I could ever actually murder someone. But, when you get into, like, the writing mode, you have to say, okay, if I was this person, like, how would I do this?
Yeah.
And if I want to get away with it, you always go with the clever option, obviously, you know? You always go with the clever option. But if you just are really to the point that you just want them to suffer, for example, I don't like the whole, oh, you shoot them. I'm like, no. You don't shoot them like with a single shot if you want them to suffer. It's not intimate. It doesn't make them suffer unless, I don't know, it's like a warning shot through their shoulder or something. I'm like, guns are impersonal. Okay, you need to get in their face. You need to torment them. You make them want to wish they were dead before you ever do anything to lay a hand on them. Then you start slowly dragging it out. Then you get to the torture scene.
This is turning into a really interesting podcast.
I'm sorry, we're still live.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What? The quickest way to get the FBI after you, join Ollamh's podcast.
Oh no!
Apparently.
Jesus.
Thanks,
guys.
One of the torture methods or interrogation methods that I've told people a few times that always makes just about everybody wince. Castration by paper cuts.
Ew.
Fuck.
Ugh, the infection alone.
Exactly.
But wait, hold on. Which type of castration? Testicular or?
Dealer's choice?
Well, no. See, that's the one thing I love. I don't know who's watched Diamanda Hagen, but that was always something. I love her running gag. She always, every time a castration is shown in a movie, she's like, "You're doing it wrong." I'm gonna say this one more time. If you are castrating a man, you don't cut off the testicles, you cut off the shaft. You make it to where he can't come, not to where he doesn't want to.
Also, I mean, are we just going to do paper cuts? Are we going to add a little rubbing alcohol, a little lemon juice, maybe some fire ants?
No. You do lime and salt. That way it's a pain margarita.
See, for me, no, it's just paper cuts. Because like after one or two slices, it's like you have to pause to get another piece of paper. Because as the blood soaks into the paper, well, it's not going to cut anymore. Now you just got to get another one. And,
That's true, but I feel like depending on how much it's bleeding, you want to like wipe some of that blood away. You know, start with a not fresh canvas, but okay, let's see where we are.
See, this is why I love the crew, because it's like, hey, here's this idea, and it's like, oh no, let's ramp it up a little bit.
We've now gone beyond simply the FBI. The FBI has contacted our therapists. Don't have one? They'll fix that.
I mean, I have a psychiatrist. I'm fine.
The NSA is just like, guys.
Yeah, FBI's listening. I'm pretty sure 3 of them just threw up.
We're not going to actually do any of this. Besides, I'm stuck between, in one of my storylines, what's more traumatic, getting buried alive in a wooden coffin or a stone coffin, and what the survival rates are between the two.
Actually, it would be the wooden, because the stone would cut off oxygen quicker, and if you fight against it, it's actually going to mutilate you harder than the wood.
But here's my question: do you give them a book of matches? Because the instinct is, I need light, but a match will consume the oxygen faster.
And like I said, in the wooden coffin, you've got that problem of, uh-oh.
Well, see, I was thinking more like in the wooden coffin, if they're trying to get out, they're going to like cut up their hands and start like splintering into the wood. So then there's more panic, which of course makes them breathe faster, which wastes more oxygen. But then with the stone, it's all cold. There's no give whatsoever. So like the more they beat on it, again, you're wasting oxygen, but also like you're not seeing any progress. You're just stuck. And then in theory, even if you got through the wood, like you're going to just start getting dirt. Like you're going to have to get a big enough opening to actually crawl out. And the chances of doing that before you run out of oxygen are slim to none. So I can't decide.
Okay.
But that's a very good point.
I just have to address Frog's latest post here in the comments. I'm fucked up just like you guys, and I blame you guys for letting me get it out somewhere without repercussions.
Y'all invited me.
I mean, hey, that's, no judgment, no judgment. We're all talking hypotheticals. There's nothing wrong with looking at hypotheticals. And much like Ragdoll says, yeah, it can really help as far as creating really compelling stories.
Okay, sorry, Frog, but that last comment I do have to hide.
Look, I'm just saying, for example, Stephen King, everybody thinks he's an amazing horror writer, and he is great mystery writer, but like he had to research some really disturbing stuff to make it even semi-accurate. So, like it happens.
Yeah.
Why does my search history seem so tame in comparison, though admittedly more weird?
Because
I mean, some of my search
nice
history is
guy.
extremely innocent.
I can't find my hard drive. This is disturbing me now.
Not all of my background searches are like horror fest. Some of them are like, oh, puppies, or what's the latest Disney movie? I mean, they're not all like hair incarnate.
That I watch Alice in Wonderland, a musical porno.
Well, that's your fault, darling. You got me to watch that.
See,
That
Ragdoll,
was kind of the point I was making.
sometimes you need a palate cleanser.
I don't think that
Fair.
was a palate cleanser. I think that was her introduction to, oh no, this man is disturbed.
No, I mean the searches for puppies and what's the latest Disney movie and stuff like that. Those are just palate cleansers. Those are, hey, I've looked at enough dark shit. I need something that brings
I'm a
back
bit
my faith in life.
confused.
That's your
I'm a bit
Wolf's Hall.
I'm a bit confused and concerned that you watched a movie called Alice in Wonderland, the musical porno.
I clearly really, really, really love my boyfriend, and I try lots of really crazy, stupid shit for him. For example, watching something called an Alice in Wonderland porno, which I believe came out in the 70s, and if that doesn't give you a clue...
It is Alice in Wonderland, a musical porno, and it is 1974.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know the exact date when I've only seen it once while I was drinking, and you are correct. It is a musical porno.
Look, you have to double check if it's really from the 70s. See if the dicks have sideburns.
Oh my gosh.
What was that comment? What was that?
She said you have to check if it's in the 70s, if the dicks have sideburns.
No. We know it's from the 70s because there is Bush.
A lot.
Okay. I need to take a real quick break to go into the bathroom. So
We'll try not to burn the place down while you're gone.
And by that he means he's off to see his therapist.
I have no idea what the hell I'm gonna come back to. I'm just
Oh yeah.
fucked up.
Don't worry. We'll make it interesting.
Look, I was a relatively innocent 16, 17-year-old when I met, in real life. And literally the words, "You may touch it," will never mean the same thing to me because of that film. And it is all his fault.
So go use the bathroom on that one, Ollamh. Oh my god.
And this is me without alcohol.
As a non-drinker,
Oh my god. I kind of regret that Sin wasn't around to meet you. Oh shit. Oh, it would have been hilarious.
the weirdest things I ever researched, I technically was constructing a cult, and I'm pretty sure the ATF was probably casing my house.
Okay,
No.
that's concerning. I'm glad you're alive and, among us.
Right, I was creating...
Oh no, she said the words!
I was creating a cult for a D&D game. And it
Oh, makes it a
was
little
a
better.
really weird one. I was doing crossover Vampire the Masquerade D&D.
Love it, love it.
And so, of course, I'm creating a cult led by the vampires, and to properly construct this cult, I have to look up a whole lot of Christian theology. I'm constructing things, I'm looking at the debates of the Council of Nicaea. I come up with a permutation of the Monophysite heresy that is, quite frankly, going to get me slapped by any actual believer who reads it.
Okay, to be fair, some Satanist cults now, you can get a card, like a membership, like a Build-A-Bear card. And also there's this thing called Cullism, which is apparently people who became so obsessed with Twilight, they tried to make it their religion, which is ironic considering it was written by a Mormon. So, if that makes you feel any better, hey.
My immediate supervisor at my shop is the local leader of the Church of the Jedi.
I'm just saying.
At least you know you're working under someone good.
Okay, true. What I came up with was a bunch of... Okay, how familiar is everyone with the concept of the hypostasis?
I understand the basic philosophy.
Okay. Basically, when... You know then how the... what would become Catholicism basically trounced everyone else based on that at the Council of Nicaea, right?
Yep.
Okay. I had a 5th generation Toreador present there take that to its obvious conclusion, saying, well, obviously, God permanently died on the cross that day, destroying itself forever. And that is what opened up heaven to mortals.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So he wanted to stamp out the idea of God, the God of Abraham still being alive because he considered that an insult to his memory.
Gamers, I'm just going to leave that in your DMs. Take that how you will.
No, I'm already concerned.
So I've got this group forming a cult in Chicago led by a 5th gen Tory that I've made up.
Okay.
Converted fully to D&D rules. Now imagine all the things I have to do and research then at that point while I'm tying the whole thing into organized crime. I don't even want to know what search list I showed up on.
I'm almost tempted to say that if you didn't have at least one member of this cult tell someone that they're going to make them an offer they can't refuse.
I mean, the leader of the cult was ghouling people through communion, so...
I still have very, very negative reactions to that quote.
Wait, which quote?
The make them an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah, it get down to the dirt.
I heard that so much from somebody who literally would just make them an offer that would literally make people an offer that any sane person would fucking refuse. And it's like...
That's how cults work, though.
But that's the thing is, the person that always used to say it it wasn't anything about they had nothing about a cult. It was just... They just had an overblown opinion of themselves.
I mean, I could think of 5 people off the top of my head. Some people are just ego strokers. One that comes to mind that I didn't know very well considered himself like a Norse god, and hate to break it to him, but no.
That kind of matches with the person I was thinking of too.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mention that person right now.
Okay.
Don't do it.
I didn't say anything.
I'm not talking to you.
I'm not naming any names.
You don't need to name the names.
I alluded to a person that I briefly had an acquaintanceship with that I thought could use a, bit of a slap upside the head, some therapy, and a trip back down to earth. But like, he can do whatever he wants.
I would see for me, I was gonna say a good swift kick in the ghoulies, but
Same basic principle.
Now I remember what would definitely have gotten me on the government watch list that I was researching that campaign.
Mm-hmm.
What weapons are kept on average American military base?
Yep, that would do it.
Oh yeah.
Yep, because of course I had the cult have a member at the local base that was sneaking them weapons.
Ollamh, darling. My brother in crime. I'm going to stab you with a pencil.
Hey, don't.
Hey now.
Why you said I haven't said anything?
Because now you have forced me to wonder which one of us, you or I, could do a better impression of the Golden Cum Rag.
Hey, your name.
But it would be so much better if we did it together.
Again, I stepped away to feed my dog and come back to cold and cum rag. What the hell? This just gets
Friendship.
worse every time I step away and come back.
True friendship.
I don't care about naming names at this point, because the fact that I had to think of that, and the fact that I don't know which one of us could actually do a better impression.
Look, friends help you move. Real friends help you hide the bodies.
Fry the bodies. Ooh, tasty.
True friends hide your browser history after you die.
That's fair.
No, I was just sitting here thinking, because, like, he got me to thinking of him, and I was like, if we really wanted to torture the crew one night, we could hold an entire podcast, for as long as they could stand it, in the style of those meetings that he and I had to sit through.
Oh, no.
But then I realized one of us would have to be him, that particular person, and I couldn't think of which one of us could do a better impression.
I would never do it. I would no.
I feel like we would feel too dirty.
May I suggest something to truly torture ourselves and make it delectable for our audience?
What?
Hear me out. You remember how we were joking about statting out Musk in Fatal?
Oh, Jesus.
Please, we can stat out some other people, Zuckerberg, etc. And everyone takes a character, and one of us runs the RPG.
Oh.
Unfortunately, if we were to take that person, we don't need to stat them out. They already statted themselves out.
Ooh, wow.
We can do it in D20. It's less of a headache. We can do it in GURPS, and it's still less of it. We could do it in Hero System 6th Edition, and it would still be less number crunching than Fatal.
I think that would be a podcast not for YouTube but for Pornhub.
We should do that, actually.
Oh my gosh.
Now I want to put it on Pornhub. I don't care if it doesn't qualify as porn. Inflicted upon them.
Oh, no. Cinema Snob posts his reviews over there when they get too bad for YouTube. But I think we should do that one Saturday, or just one night that, we have the time and we really don't care about the world. Me and Ras should take control of the stream, and we'll just make a completely random character using Fatal System.
Roll for anal resistance.
I was about to say, it will take as long as it takes. We're not doing this 3.5 hour limit. It will take as long as it takes.
Frog, I am so sorry. You have tuned into... We'll link you the PDF later. In fact, actually, do we want to just throw it in the YouTube chat?
And I thought the Howard Stern show was bad.
I mean, we could with a warning that it is.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know about the full PDF because, dear God, it's just glancing at it. It's like, oh my God.
You know what, Frog? We post it in the Discord. We can, if you want to join our Discord, there's a link here on the video description.
No, we posted it in Pirates chat.
Yeah, it was only posted in private Pirates chat. Now, I don't mind it being in the general in the Discord because I mean.
But again, I'm going to say we at least give a soft warning of content because we don't just want to unleash that.
I agree. Okay, so.
Gods were horrible people.
I just have no idea.
Just a little bit. Not too much. No.
I don't know if horrible is the right word. I would say exceptionally creative.
I would say deranged. But yeah.
Actually, I another thing, like between me and Ollamh, I did have to laugh because I found out that one of our other favorite people left and then came back to that particular place, and they are now in the funniest place they can be.
Oh,
the polar ace that runs
I'm
it?
going to send it to you in message, and you can just react how you will.
All right, yeah. I'm scared.
Well, don't be that scared. It's not as bad as I'm making it sound.
I'm guessing I do not know this person.
I'm expecting a very.
This is all Second Life thing.
I'm expecting a very dramatical response. So, let's hope it's at least Oscar worthy.
Frog, is it bad that I looked at that and immediately thought, oh, you have 50-calorie gunpowder? Can I add it to Jell-O?
You know, Caden, I'm actually not surprised.
No, but I was like, wait a minute, I have to do a double take. It was like, please clarify. You do mean this person? They're like, yeah. I was like, you mean this person who told me in a direct message in a private forum without any RP that they were racist against whites, you know, think black supremacy, all this. So like, yeah, that person was like, and they're in that particular tribe now.
Oh, yeah, that's just, yeah.
One day, when we're not on the air, I need to hear this story.
Oh, God. That's...
One day, when I want to close up my radio show, maybe I can invite one of you on the air to share the story.
See, okay, so Frog says, if I was to join, I'll be sending documents about our economic system, dog picks, the occasional weapons facts, and ingredients to make gunpowder to the exact gram for 50 cal.
Yeah, sounds like he's already. Yeah, sounds like he's already one of us.
Sounds like he's a
I was gonna say, it's like, yeah, that sounds pretty normal.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't, again, that doesn't really surprise me that much. Frog, that gunpowder was used to prove the alcohol proof during the days of sailing ships, I'm assuming. It was also used for makeshift fuse. Yeah, I can see that, yeah, I mean, whew.
I mean, they even put that fact in the second Kingsman.
I always find it interesting that the whole difference between like the Renaissance, and one of the main differences between the Renaissance and the Dark Ages was the popularization of coffee.
I think the funny thing is the difference between the Renaissance and the Dark Ages is what country were you in?
Well, I mean,
survival.
It was, you know, basically back in the Dark Ages, it was like nobody trusted the water. It was generally poisonous. It was going to make you ill. So they brewed it into weak beer. So basically that was, you know, into what they called table beer. That was their purification process.
You know, that I always loved that fact was that's why brewing beer and such came about and kept the wineskins. And that explains so much about everything that came out during those times, because everybody was just drunk as fuck.
Well, they weren't drunk as fuck. They weren't drunk as fuck, because the table beer is very, very low alcohol content. It's not even up to what modern beer is. It was just, you know, the distilling and alcohol would kill off any of the nasty germs. It's better. It's like... So all you had to do was just boil the fucking water.
And
again,
people
are dumb.
It is about 3 hours in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to turn to a pumpkin soon myself.
That is true, and I should as well.
Welcome, Frog.
So I think...
So tune in next Friday when we're all pumpkins, apparently.
Yeah, well, I mean... If Ras really wants to hear these stories and we want to do these ideas, we need to set aside just one whole podcast, or just pick a day and we'll just plan around it and we'll just run through all this.
I think it would be better just to do it kind of off the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You know what? Once I get my OBS set up, if he wants to stream it to Pornhub, we'll stream it to Pornhub. I just got to make sure my OBS is actually working.
You're gonna have a whole bunch of middle-aged men, horny men, very confused as to what they're looking at.
Again, Cinema Snob puts his reviews on there, so it's not like it's unheard of. It was a legitimate tactic to get around the YouTube censorship for a while. You just went to Pornhub and put everything there.
Oh yeah, that's where he does all of his porno reviews.
Yeah, and there's legitimate how-to videos. Like, you can find how to build a shelf on Pornhub because people are just like, I don't want to do the YouTube shit.
Okay. Wow.
Well, I said I wanted to see deep wood penetration. That's not what I had in mind.
Yeah, I was about to say that's not the kind of yeah.
When I heard that this was Woodshop taught by Mr. Woodcock, I did not expect an actual woodshop.
Jesus Christ.
And
We just
on
killed
that
Ollamh's.
note-
Ollamh's brain is now gone.
And on that note, I think it's time to say goodnight. You guys want to say your goodbyes?
Yeah, have a good night, everyone. Thanks for to everybody who watched tonight, and thanks to all of you for entertaining me with your murder facts.
Goodbye, my dears. Thank you for letting us torture you for yet another night.
Good night, raindrops, moonbeams, and any others out there. Enjoy the evening.
Tune in tomorrow night for Over the Edge on WEFT 90.1 FM, streaming online at new.weft.org/listen.
Again, wrestling making us all look bad.
Right?
We have got to work on our outros.
Hey,
I will haul you all onto my show.
I've got my outro.
True.
I wasn't talking about you.
All right. So, yeah, speaking of outros, I'm going to do my outro. As always, guys, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you guys very much for watching. I hope it was entertaining and wasn't too terribly disturbing. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you're new here, don't forget to press the subscribe button. As always, if you want to be kept up to date of when we go live and stuff like that, you can make sure to ring the bell, but also check out the social media links just in case YouTube doesn't notify you. The Facebook page, the Twitter account, the Tumblr account, and the permanent invite for our Discord server. All that so that you can stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions. Cheerio!